What's up, everybody? This is Jason David Frank, the Green Ranger, and you are watching Ranger Wrap Up. Peace out!
Man, give me the peak. No! How do you mean no? I mean, I'm holding on to this line.
Welcome to the Ranger Wrap-Up. We are here live on this beautiful Saturday afternoon in Los Angeles, California. It's not actually that beautiful. It's pretty overcast.
It's really cloudy outside, really.
Yeah.
Hey, Daniel, before we get started, let's hit us with those AKAs.
Why are we out of focus?
Huh?
I had some listed.
Yeah,
I
let's
have
see.
to look them up. Damn.
Let's see.
Oh my god. Is this still the voice?
Oh, we'll do it like this.
Oh boy.
Go ahead.
Oh, I don't know, man. I have to look him up. Like,
Yeah.
he knew we were
Talk
going.
or some stuff.
Well, he knew we were going live at 12, and
No,
He
I
didn't
I
know about the
AKAs.
AKs. Yeah, but I mean, it's necessary now. It's necessary.
All
Well,
right,
you
all
guys, thank you for joining us on your Saturday. You could be anywhere else in the world today, but you are here with us, and
We appreciate
truly do appreciate it. How you guys doing today? How you guys doing this fine Saturday? I know you had a bad week.
oh yeah, I had a rough week.
Yeah.
Pretty rough week. How are you? Saturday's decent though.
Saturday's fine.
Woke up great. 8 o'clock. Jezza wanted the call time to be 10. I got here at 11.
I know. What the fuck?
Well, when Kevin's not here, we got to fend for ourselves.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. So that was that's been a Saturday. It's been a Saturday. I haven't eaten anything. I'm pretty hungry actually. What do you think we're gonna go to lunch after this? So we had
probably-
Gus's fried chicken last week.
Yeah.
All right,
Gus's fried chicken is amazing.
let's get some assessments here because I also agree. I think Gus's fried chicken, if you have one locally wherever you live, check it out. Also, by the way, where are you guys streaming from? We would love to know. That's something else we do on this show. Is Daniel still scrambles for these
Dude,
AKAs?
because I have like so many.
But
different
Gus's
ones.
fried chicken, Daniel, that was your first time?
That was my first time at Gus's fried chicken. I gotta say, actually, it was good. I don't know about the best fried chicken, but
What's the best
it
fried
was
chicken?
good.
Remember we did a fried chicken test?
We did.
We did.
That was a
You know,
fun one.
it kind of depends for me, but I guess oh, hey, I'm from LA, so when it comes to like fried chicken here in LA,
Let me tell you, because
honestly,
Roscoe is kind of overrated.
Agreed.
Roscoe's is
Agreed.
overrated, but it depends.
And
on
Roscoe's
which
is
you
just
go
the
to.
location where people keep getting shot at.
Well, it depends on which
Also
Roscoe's.
agreed.
I mean, are you going to the one on Pico? Are you going to the one over there in Gower? Gower is like that one's crap.
Yeah,
And then there's the one in Inglewood, which actually isn't good. Isn't bad, but it's not that good. So I don't know.
Roscoe's is the 2020 version of
Jim Dandy's.
Tams.
Jim Dandy's was amazing.
Jim Dandy's.
Jim Dandy's
Oh my gosh.
is good, but you know what? There's this place I had chicken and waffles from over the weekend. It was called Tata's. It's fantastic,
Tatas?
dude.
Tatas.
I promise you, it was the best. See if I can pull a picture of this Tata's
Tatas.
fried chicken. Look at this. Look how beautiful this fried chicken is.
Oh,
Or
that
chicken
looks
and waffles.
good.
Tata's. You guys probably can't see that, but Tata's. It's pretty fantastic. Pretty fantastic. But guys, thank you guys so much for joining us. Heirloom, Robert Amaya, Jalen Glover, Thea Games, Sam Snoswell.
You still said Thea Games.
Well, yeah.
Thea Games.
Brandon Bell,
Hey, gang.
Global Nerds. Welcome. Today's going to be a little bit of a different stream, folks. We're going to be doing something a little bit different, something we haven't done in a long time, actually.
A long.
This is going to be more of the Super Chat fandom stream. We're going to talk just randomly about everything and Power Rangers at the same time.
Yeah, but we still got, all your favorite segments. We got a fan theory, got Josh Perry's Lightning Storm, and even a comics preview
Nice.
by Deoxy360 over there.
Jezzer, let me ask you,
Yeah, what?
during the course of this week, has Power Ranger news been less, do you think, this week?
Less, and I think that's going to be a norm for a little bit until the new show starts up.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I mean, comic books, we're transitioning from Ryan Parrott into Melissa Flores, right?
yeah.
So once that starts picking up, maybe we'll get some news for the reunion episode and Cosmic Fury, maybe some promo images. LA Comic Con's coming up. I don't know if Power Rangers and Hasbro has a relationship with LA Comic Con, but
We would strongly doubt that Hasbro's gonna have a presence at LA Comic Con.
definitely.
I mean, is that a smart move or like a really bad move?
For
In
what?
my opinion?
I don't know. LA Comic Con, I don't ever feel is like one of those major shows that are a must go
It
to type
used
of
to
show.
be when it was under
Stan
Stan
Lee's
Lee,
Kamikaze, yeah.
and then now it just turned into like a
Any other ordinary convention.
yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter.
Well, let me ask you. Do you remember what was the last? Oh, I did go to LA Comic Con last year, very briefly. I did a panel with Adi Shankar.
You did.
Oh,
Um,
yeah. Wow.
That was it. That I haven't. I mean, I was there for literally like 15 minutes. No, that's not true. Sorry, like an hour and 15 minutes. Wow, what a show! What a show we have today, right? Jessica?
We do have a little fun thing. So I have something Power Ranger-esque to give away, but in order to do the giveaway,
Wait, you're gonna give away that whole thing?
no, not this.
Oh, okay. I was like, oh my
So
god.
you guys get to ask us any random questions, and whoever, through Super Chat, and whoever Super Chats, you get your name and username on this little spin board, and then you could Super Chat as many times as you want until all these triangles are filled up, and then
What the hell prize is this?
you'll see later.
Oh god.
Jess is actually buying the winner of this an Anarchy cosplay of your choice.
Yes.
Yes.
No. So you guys fill up all these triangles at the end of the show. We'll spin it, and then we'll reveal the prize next week.
So what you're saying is you don't have a prize and you're just gonna figure it out until we get something.
Oh
next
yeah,
week.
Yeah, that's it.
yeah.
There's
That
no
is
such thing as a
fantastic.
prize. Bravo.
All right, so yeah, this week has been weird for me. So I got my house broken into.
You did.
A lot of you guys that follow me on social media know that.
Some of them shared it too. So.
Some of you guys shared it. I
Yeah, yeah.
appreciate everybody that did. It was crazy how much damage was done to our backyard.
But yeah, they don't know that you had your house fumigated.
no, they
Yeah.
don't. However, one of our neighbors, and I don't know why they posted this, like while the tents were like going up. You'd assume you post that when the tents are coming down, but no, we don't know. We don't know who it was. We have them on video. You can go check out my social media. Actually, it's really just on Instagram. You can go on Instagram and check that
It's on Twitter.
video out. Yeah, it is on Twitter.
It
It
is,
is on
it
Twitter.
is.
It's on Twitter. Yeah.
So that was that. It was crazy. They didn't take any of my stuff, but they took Stephanie's, like a lot of Stephanie's jewelry, Stephanie's mom's jewelry stuff.
Jeez.
That sucks.
Crazy stuff, guys. Crazy stuff out in the world that this is happening. But hey, this all makes it better. Just doing these type of shows. Back to Power Rangers,
Yeah.
Yes.
I guess, or back to whatever you guys want. So the fried chicken spot.
Oh yeah, dude. So like I said, Jim Dandy's is what I love. I mean, it doesn't exist anymore, so I don't really know.
What happened
like,
to Jim
good friend-
Dandy's?
I don't. It's something else now. It's not that great. It was amazing. Jim Dandy's was really good chicken.
It's the prize is comics related.
Is
Just figured that out in my head right now.
All right, so I thank you guys for all the thank you. I know.
Are you
it
guys
sucks.
reading the comics right now?
I
No.
haven't.
Power Rangers?
I haven't.
It's so many.
No.
I need to buy the hardcover books, like the ones that have all the volumes on them.
I switched over my comic reading to DC.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I have.
Okay.
I'm
All
Why
right.
is that?
a DC guy. So I've always been in comics. I've always been more of a DC collector ever since I was younger.
Good stories, man.
Yeah, and then I got back into comics really heavy in I want to say the early 2000s. I read everything that DC was putting out. I want to say all the way up until like 2000, I don't know, maybe like 2010.
Mm-hmm.
And then I tried jumping back on at a couple points after that. New 52 happened. I tried jumping on then. I stayed with that for a while. Then some of those stories got kind of convoluted. And now I got recently back on to DC with Infinite Frontier is where I kind of started, which was about March of last year.
Yeah.
But I wasn't reading March of last year. I'm just catching up now. So I just finished all of March's books from last year, and I'm in April now. I like what they're doing over at DC. I like the stories that they're doing. I like the characters. Nothing against the Marvel. It's not a competition for me. But I just gravitate more towards the DC comic storytelling.
You're digging the post Jeff.
Jeff Johns is still there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he's still writing a couple books.
Nice.
What is he writing? Is it still the Flash? Or is it Green
Stargirl.
Lantern? Oh wow,
Stargirl.
Okay. Oh, is he doing Stargirl because he's kind of like the consultant for the show?
Probably. I mean, the character's really his brainchild. It's based on his sister that passed away.
So if you guys have any cool Power Ranger news or art too, send it our way. We'll post it on the show.
Oh yeah,
we've
man.
seen some
love
really
good
cool
Power
stuff.
Ranger art.
I can't remember who in the chat always sends us some stuff. But we also want to do more shows, not just Power Ranger shows, like DC shows.
Well, yeah, I want to kind of get to know our fan base also because I know all of you guys tuned in here for Power Rangers, and we're going to be talking about that too. But I also am curious to see what you guys are interested in.
Yes.
Whether it be DC, Marvel, anime, video games.
There is a void in the video game show realm now since G4 is gone. So.
Yeah, dude, like right now there is a huge opening for just.
Oh yeah, let's talk about that for a second. I have a.
Did you guys know that studio they had in Burbank, $70 million that they put into that studio, $70 million
$70 million, 200 people
to put
working
out
there.
YouTube content.
Yes,
That is not even great YouTube content.
dude, it's not. And yet,
I'm gonna be pretty honest and tell you guys that the new iteration of G4 was trash.
well, they were trying to sell the personalities at the same time, like not looking into really paying attention to the content.
If
that
you
they were
had
giving
if you
out.
had $70 million, instead of like trying to push these people that don't have a platform already, why don't you pick up people that are well known, like celebrities that play video games?
Well, they
Well,
did.
they
I mean,
did.
that's what they got Xavier Woods for,
Yeah.
right?
Okay, well there's also like
I actually think
Jordan
I don't,
Fisher. They got Bobby Lee. There's all these people that
Yeah,
like play all
yeah.
these video games.
I don't think that was why G4 failed personally. I think that I think the intention to recreate something that was already done so well before with Attack of the Show, Kevin Pereira, Olivia Munn, it's just so hard to recapture that same type of magic without it feeling forced. And I think that when G4 came back, I agree with you. Like the content felt like it was
forced.
but they tried to pull you back in with nostalgia, but it was done so
Lazy.
Yeah, that might be the best word. Lazy might be the best word for this. Look, this is and let's be honest, like there's so many people out there trying to do content creation and people that are doing it extremely well and people that are doing it consistent, but like there's content for everybody, right?
Yeah,
You can make
yeah.
content for we're doing a show about Power Rangers. We're not really talking about Power Rangers. We're
No.
just talking about content creation right now. but
Yeah, right now.
there's so many other people that watch us that are content creators, but also think like, because this is another thing too. Like everybody in this chat, I know you're here to listen about Power Rangers, but we also got to realize something, guys, is that like, and I think this is something that happened on YouTube earlier last year, but like Power Ranger videos were aggregating lower, right? So like
They're still aggregating lower.
people want to talk about other type of content to create, but they don't want to let go of the bread and butter that brought them to the dance.
Yeah.
So with G4 personally, I think that like they really leaned to have like this is what made the first G4 so successful is that it felt like a geek entertainment company, whereas this newer G4 felt like it was really more geared towards like specifically the streaming audience and gaming.
But there's no point for that because all these people that like watching these games, they all have individual streamers that they follow and watch. Like, why go to, a company that, just barely touches on it when you have someone that you follow, like, pretty religiously? I think the mistake that they had is a lot of the people that they were trying to push in the forefront were people from the old world of YouTube, like Kasim G and Gina Darling. They were old YouTube. They were like
Out of touch.
at the first starts. They were like makers. Do you remember? Was it
Yeah.
Makers?
Yeah, Maker Studio, yeah.
Maker
They
Studio.
were Maker Studio YouTubes. Like that. YouTube has changed from 10 years ago to what it
yeah.
is now. Like it is way different.
Definitely.
The stuff that actually works on YouTube now, it's kind of like it's kind of in between, right? You either have the long form content, which is a video podcast, right? And then you have the short term one like Reels and
Shorts.
YouTube Shorts. Whatever's in the middle falls out of the wayside. So you got to pick what side. You want to do short like Vine like content, or do you want to do long form podcast content? And I think that that's the way that YouTube is now. and G4 didn't realize that. They thought they could still work with that TV style of programming when TV has literally become obsolete with streaming services.
Very true.
I think that's just the way that the world's going right now.
Well, I mean, but people are watching YouTube on. I'm hearing my audio was low. All right, people are watching YouTube and they're watching it on their televisions now. It's not just on their phone anymore. People are watching YouTube like it was like broadcast television. Like they have times in which they watch particular, users or whatever like that. That they're like, oh, at this time I have to watch this, and it's going to be blah 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 or whatever. So I mean, YouTube is completely different, like you said, than what it was before. There's so much content and so many different ways to be able to consume it. And I'm talking about seriously just YouTube. YouTube tries to be TikTok. It tries to be Twitter. It tries to be Facebook. It tries to be itself. It's Instagram also. It's everything. That's what YouTube's trying to be. So it's just, you can't be this one-dimensional kind of person anymore and think, oh, that's going to make the change. That's going to still be what's big or what's important.
Yeah. And one thing, like bringing it back to like Power Rangers content, video games, like anime, DC, Marvel content creators have it so much easier than Power Ranger content creators.
Oh man, completely.
Like that's why I applaud everybody that is in the Power Rangers content creating world, because you're literally like have to be on your toes every single time, just getting an inch. It's like squeezing a freaking an orange for orange juice, right? Like to get every ounce that you can get because of how the brand is.
That's true.
Because of how the brand has not evolved within the last 20 years.
Yeah, and the thing is, you have influencers that are trying to make a change, but the fans are like, well, I like what I like.
Yeah.
And they don't seem to be embracing change. As far as it may actually just be the vocal minority, and because they're the vocal minority and the majority doesn't speak, they're kind of like, yeah, I guess they're speaking for us. That's fine enough. So we don't get to see that change. But if everyone got together and said, yeah, we want this, we want that,
we want it to be in the forefront, so we can. You want weekly. For Netflix, it being on Netflix and they're releasing all 10 episodes, do you think that's a mistake?
Yes.
No.
You don't think it's a mistake? No. Why is that?
I think that the way that we consume things now needs to be bingeable.
But for a brand like Power Rangers, where you want them to keep talking about it every single week, like
no, I would say no, because you don't. I don't think you do want them to. I don't think you. If I was Hasbro, I'm not Hasbro, but yes, you do want the brand talk. You want the top. Well, you want people talking about the brand every week, but currently Hasbro doesn't.
Right.
So like what they're doing is
we got a super chat.
Hold on, we'll get to that in a second.
Yeah.
But what I think that they're doing is they're giving you things almost kind of like events.
Yeah.
I guess you can say that they're events. But they're kind of like events. We know a reunion's coming. We know the Cosmic Fury's coming. We know the Cosmic Fury's 10 episodes. The reunion thing's going to be like one episode. These are events, right? So they want you just talking about the events. I'm sure that they want the buzz, but the only downside is what can they really give you content-wise right now that's going to fulfill your need and give you that buzz? Because once and the way the Power Ranger fans obviously work is it's very similar to the way some of these Marvel fans work, is that if they showed you David Yost and Walter Jones returning for this 30th anniversary thing or whatever it is, I think you guys set up, or we as fans set up these expectations that the brand isn't going to be able to meet. So they don't give you anything. So that way when they give you something, it feels like you got something rather than not getting anything at all.
The problem for me is that there are lulls. There are lulls where nothing happens and nothing's important.
But
and
there's
no
not
one
enough.
talks
There's
about
not
it.
enough content coming out to
That's
talk
the thing,
about it.
and that's why
That's
I
why
think
you
you
wanna
need to
spread it
pace
out.
it. Yeah,
Yeah.
you need to pace it and spread it out. I mean, She-Hulk. She-Hulk was not all that great, but yet people are talking about it up to the point where they hit the finale.
I think that's
After
the downside.
finale, people stop talking about it.
But that's the
And that's
downside.
the
There's
same
so
thing
much.
with Power Rangers.
There's so much weekly content coming out that it's going to be in this. It's going to have to keep up with all the same things that you're already watching. She-Hulk, the Game of Thrones spinoff, whatever else you're consuming weekly, it has to be thrown into that. So,
Well, then Power Rangers, honestly, I feel maybe should change their programming time and do everything new during the summer instead of the fall, like all the other shows.
I don't know. I think that there just needs to be more. There needs to be different Power Ranger mediums coming out for different things
all the time.
All right, so Marvel's a really good examples, right? So before the Disney Plus streaming era, and I think it's fair to say, more people were interested in the Marvel Cinematic Universe than any other like franchise that was out there, correct?
Okay, yes.
Is it fair to say that with the Disney Plus shows, yes, they kept the buzz going, but would you say that the majority has been negative or positive buzz?
Positive, right?
You think so?
For Disney Plus?
I would say personally that the response has been negative for the majority of the Marvel Disney Plus shows. The most criticism I hear about the Marvel Cinematic Universe currently is, where's Phase 4 going? Nothing feels connected. Why am I watching this? Whatever it may be. I don't think that She-Hulk kind of addresses it the best.
But we haven't had anything that's like, oh, okay, it's all connected.
That's my point, right? So we got to learn how to crawl. We got to learn how to crawl before we can walk. And I think Power Rangers needs to learn how to crawl first.
Well, when is
Power Rangers needs to learn how to open its eyes first.
Well, I mean,
well, we do got 2 super chats though. But go ahead.
Let's do the super chats.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Daniel. You want to read them?
I can barely see it. It's
Frankie Pimentel. He says, it feels like people are slowly losing interest in Power Rangers at this point. What's your thought on that, Jezzer?
I think, yeah. I think Power Rangers, I follow a lot of Facebook groups. There's some people on there that, because there's not much content, they will literally just keep talking about the 1993, posts about the 1993 show. Like that Kent guy from whatever. That's literally all he posts. It's like, bro. Names. Yeah, it's like, bro, you got nothing else better to talk about? I'm gonna keep talking about these individual episodes because.
So you know what? But honestly, sometimes that's the stuff I do like at Power Morphicon is talking about kind of the individual Power Ranger experiences.
No, but it'll be stuff. It'll be stuff like,
Super
did you guys see that little smirk that he did in that 1 minute and 27 seconds of that episode? Like, who the fuck cares?
So look, we're gonna.
I think it's not interesting because it's already been discussed.
I think we're gonna deep dive some of our, and this is what this stream's gonna be really about today, is us talking about the franchise, getting things off our chest, but also celebrating the franchise because we are approaching the 30th anniversary of Power Rangers, and we also know that there's going to be 30th anniversary merchandising coming out for Power Rangers, and a big part of that would be the Lightning Collection. But we do have another super chat. Before we get to that, I think we should get to Josh Perry's Lightning Collection video.
Ooh. Josh Perry.
Hello, Power Rangers Lightning Collection fans. This is Josh Perry from the Illuminerdi, and here's everything that happened this past week for the Power Rangers Lightning Collection. So first up for this week, we have some Hasbro Pulse date changes. So the Yellow Ranger Morpher, which was previously supposed to be out in early October, now has a release date of October 24th on Hasbro Pulse, so only a couple of days from now. So if you had pre-ordered it there and haven't already got it from the GameStop website, you're going to be getting your pre-order charged for you from Hasbro Pulse here pretty soon. And speaking of GameStop exclusive stuff on Hasbro Pulse, the Color Swap 2-pack, which is already released in the UK a couple of weeks ago, has had its date moved up on Hasbro Pulse to November 1st, so right around the corner for this one. It has not released in the US from GameStop just yet, but if you got that on Hasbro Pulse, you're going to probably be getting it here in the next couple of weeks or so, and it's going to be the first place to get it in the US rather than GameStop, so if you want this set, it's going to be right around the corner. Right now on Amazon, there is a number of figure deals going on. So basically, if you click the link to any of these figures that are popping up on screen right now, like Phantom Ranger or most of Wave 11 or Wave 1 of the Deluxes, there's a coupon you can apply that makes them a little cheaper than usual. Some of these deals are better than others. Some of them it just kind of bumps it down to $17-ish. Some of them it bumps it down to half price. It's kind of interesting where this goes with this kind of thing, but I also don't know how long these are lasting. But if you want to get or kind of fill some gaps in your collection of the Lightning Collection figures, now is a really good time to do so on Amazon for some of these still relatively recent, but also kind of slowly approaching nearly a year old figures here. This is a great time to get these if you haven't already. Speaking of figures right around the corner, Big Bad Toy Store has sent out some emails claiming that the Rear Ranger and Chun-Li Rangers that were first revealed during Power Week in August are going to be arriving at their store pretty soon. So these were originally slated for early 2023 pre-order releases, but Big Bad's Toy Store claims that they're going to be getting them in pretty soon and start shipping them out. So I'm sure in the next couple of weeks or so, we'll start seeing collectors have the Ryu and Chun-Li figures to kick off the Street Fighters actually being released in the Lightning Collection. And speaking of the Street Fighter figures, artist Dave Raposa has posted his artwork for all 4 of the Street Fighter figures revealed back in August and in September on his Twitter account, which these look really, really nice. While I do still really miss Tom Whalen's artwork that is no longer being part of the line, I think Dave did a very good job here capturing these Ranger designs in a unique pose and a really cool art style, which you can see on the side of the boxes, which is going to make a really, really nice display piece when all 4 of these figures come out over the next couple of months. And then finally for this week, a reminder that this upcoming Thursday at 5 p.m. Eastern Time is going to be the Hasbro Pulse Premium exclusive event 1027 live stream. So this will be sent out via like a YouTube unlisted live stream link to Hasbro Pulse Premium members only. It will be a big live stream to kind of cover like a little bit of unboxings and reveals and kind of little fun news pieces from all of their big brands, including Power Rangers. So we don't know what we're going to see for Lightning Collection, if we're going to see anything for Lightning Collection at 1027, but be sure to check out my Lightning Stream series on YouTube and of course articles here on the Illuminerdi that will fill you in on what you missed if you're not a Hasbro Pulse Premium member. And with that, that's everything that happened this past week for the Power Rangers Lightning Collection. Of course, until next time, you can check out the full episode of Lightning Storm available on the Toku Topics YouTube channel right now, where I speculate on what I think is going to happen at 1027. And of course, you can follow me on Twitter at LivingRangerKey or LightningFigPR and check out my articles over at the Illuminerdi. And this has been a little quickie Lightning Storm.
Whoa, that was a good little quickie from the Lightning Storm.
Love quickies.
We do have another super chat we're going to address.
We did, and we're putting it on the board.
Ooh,
You have
nice.
made it to the board. Jalen Glover asks,
Well, I can't
if you were in
see
charge
the
of Power Rangers as a
If you-
whole, what would you add or
would you ever
change?
change? Yeah.
Daniel, what would you add or change?
I don't know. If I had to really think about it, what I would add or change. To Power Rangers itself, I'm more concerned with what's happening with production for the actual show, and then let things stem from there. I want an animated series, and I'm talking about like for an older audience. But then again, I also need an animated series for the kids too, because I mean they would like to see something too. Maybe go for like a chibi kind of look for the kids, you know, the big heads, blah, blah, yada, yada, yada. And then something kind of
Is that
like...
what they call that?
Yeah. And then
Chibi?
something kind of anime, something kind of anime for the older audience when it comes to animated. Like, oh, shoot, they really got a real good studio to do it. Or maybe kind of looking like Voltron. But still, it can be good. It can be good.
Why did you say?
Because everyone always says that. Man, Voltron did an animated.
How about
you
you?
guys can do
Would
it
you
too.
add
And
or
it's true.
Take away.
What you know when you in terms of like TV producing, is it a single cam or multi-cam situation?
Depending on the shoot and depending on the show.
Yeah. What is Power Rangers right now?
I would have to guess it's a multicam show.
Yeah.
It has to be.
You think it'd work as a single cam show?
No.
No, not. Oh yeah, that'd be.
It would work as a single cam show if the
I mean, is it The Office?
if the budget were if they had more
okay,
time.
so what because the way that it's shot is so like amateurish, right? Like I want it to be shot like how
You know why? It's because it's cut and paste, right? So like the way that it's been done for the last 30 years is the way that it's been done for the last 30 years, right? So like not a lot's changed. The storytelling element, sure, some of that has shifted, some of that has changed, but the actual elements of the show, it's still, for lack of a better term, it's still the same.
Yeah.
I think what you need to change is kind of what you talked about a little bit, but I just think there needs to be more, a cohesive direction for an overall universe, because I think that like that's the one thing that Power Rangers is kind of held back by, is that it doesn't every new. I mean, they're doing a better job at it now, obviously, but every season seems like it's kind of like, all right, we're just going to focus in on this, but let's not really care about the stuff that came in the past. Dino Fury started really kind of or Beast Morphers really started referencing the past a lot.
Yeah.
And we started getting a more, flushed out universe. But
connected
I think,
universe.
yeah, I feel like having a connected universe is important, especially something that can be so dense like Power Rangers. I honestly think not taking advantage of like characters while they were really hot was a really big disadvantage. Power Rangers essentially had their own version of Thanos.
Yeah.
And now he's just a comic character.
Yeah.
I agree. You mentioned this last week, and I would agree with it, that I think that if you are trying to build like a Thanos level threat, which they really should do, use Draken. And that way you can use JDF because he's older now. Make him the villain.
Yeah.
And make a new hero, like whoever you want to use, some young girl or some young man or whoever. It doesn't matter. Whoever you want to,
I also
put in that
think,
position.
actually, for animated, an anthology series, you can jump throughout Power Rangers,
Maybe
and tell stories that haven't.
That's
been
one of the
told.
things that we have to realize too, right? So like, just taking
something like this, like a fun.
Oh no.
Well,
I'm talking about like for the animated for
I
kids.
feel like
adults,
just
for the
taking it back. A
adults.
lot of the
I'm saying
actors are so
anthology.
willing to come back. You may as well
Yes.
use that to your advantage. So I talked about this a long time ago. Maybe internally, I haven't talked about this. I don't know if I've talked about this publicly, but what I think they should do. So obviously, a lot of you guys that go to conventions are familiar with a lot of these agents that book the Rangers. Who are some of the ones that like Martha from MDM Management? Brandon. What's Brandon's last name?
Benefield.
Brandon Benfield. So a lot of these guys book
Bitch
Rangers,
ass
right?
Rom.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
There's a handful of these guys that do this. I think what should happen. This is just my pitch, and this is just I think something that would I think help the franchise a lot is that the brand themselves should actually have their own kind of like Power Rangers kind of like legacy contracts. What these contracts are they get different groups of Rangers under contract to essentially be Power Ranger ambassadors. So no matter what convention you go to, whether it's New York Comic Con, LA Comic Con, whatever, Toledo, Ohio Con, I don't care where it's at, but you can send different grouping of Power Rangers, not charge the fans any money, have panels the same way you would, but not charge fans any money for pictures. But if they want to get stuff signed or buy merch, that's another thing. But they wouldn't spend any money to actually get the pictures or meet the Rangers. The reason being is because the Rangers should be getting paid by Hasbro to be there.
How much of an amount are you looking to have them paid? Because
Well, let me
Rangers
tell you
are-
how much.
Wouldn't that
So,
limit the
whoa,
amount
whoa.
of appearances that they go to?
Well, here's the thing. It would limit the amount of appearances, but it would make them more money in the long run. And I think that the reason why I think Hasbro should do this is because this is a show that was never SAG, but they had SAG rules. This is a good way
So
is extending the olive branch to all these actors that kind of got screwed out of
for
making
legacy
their money.
contracts are essentially retainers.
Yeah. Not just retainers, but let's say we get Jason Font, we get give me another Ranger, Steve Cardenas,
Aaron
and
Cahill.
not Aaron Cahill because they're in the same season, but like say Ciara Hanna and Yoshi Sudarso, right?
So-
We're gonna send these four just to New York. And they're going to represent like, hey, we're going to be doing a 30th anniversary Power Ranger panel. We're going to be talking about just their experiences. But every city, or if let's say they come to LA twice and we have 2 conventions, you get another grouping of Rangers, so it's not oversaturation.
Okay.
That way, it makes you meet some of these other Rangers, and you'll easily be able to tell if they're working under these legacy contracts. It also is the opportunity to be like, hey, we'll give you an advance notice, but we need you for this project. We're working on these projects for Power Rangers, whatever. It keeps it all into the Power Ranger family, if that makes any sense.
I get it, but I'm trying to wonder about like when it comes to the Rangers, their availability, things of that nature, what they may be looking to do.
So
or
most of the Rangers that normally would do this convention circuit anyway, it wouldn't be any different than what they're doing already. They would just be making guaranteed money rather than having to figure out how much they're going to make from the fans.
You said Yoshi or Peter?
Doesn't matter.
Okay,
Doesn't
either
matter.
one. You suggested Ciara, but
Sure.
They're aren't they all like they're
Yeah, but the
currently,
thing,
like,
the thing,
working
the,
outside.
yeah,
of-
but the thing that I think you're looking at very individual things. If you have 200 Power Rangers and you're saying, all right, Yoshi's book, great, let's fill in another guy.
Okay, yeah, that's
what's
fine.
The,
No,
what's
that's
the
fine.
difference,
That's
right?
fine. That's
so
fine.
like there's no downside to that because
yeah,
you'll
you
always
can
keep
just
them
pick
working.
and choose, switch, and
Right, and I feel like it's a good way to kind of pay them back for the residuals they didn't get.
okay, that's a proper way to do it. Actually, doing it where it's like almost like a casting call out to the managers and saying, "Hey."
Not even to the managers, because here's the deal: it would almost make that whole thing kind of obsolete, right? Because
So by approaching the Rangers themselves and saying,
essentially
here's
what it would be is
where
that
we're going to be
if these certain
hosting-
conventions wanted a licensing cost for Hasbro to be there with official Power Ranger capacity, you know, and if Hasbro really wanted to put their best foot forward and really grow this franchise, this is definitely something they would do to conventions around the nation for free anyway, in order to get people back. Because look, at the end of the day, if all these fans are coming up and they're like, hey, you know, I want to meet Amy Jo Johnson, and she's under this legacy contract, great. Let's say that it's free, though, they get to meet her. But the only thing let's just say that.
Right.
But the only thing that they have to do is just subscribe to the YouTube channel for the alerts for when Power Rangers comes out, because that's where they're housing all their new shows anyway, right? So that way you're creating a buzz about the brand again, at least internally.
But how is Hasbro making money doing it?
Well, that's where the money would come on based on the grassroots concept of building up your fan base. So they would actually go see any one of these actors they're having personal interactions with and spend money to go see them, whether it be on a Netflix show or a movie. It's just all about the marketing in the long run. I mean, truth is, how's Hasbro making money off of them now?
Yeah.
Right? They're not, right?
They're not.
Right.
Yeah.
So what's the difference?
They're spending more.
Just to retain them for appearances and stuff. But
Are they also going to fly them out? Are they also going to put them up? Are they
sure?
You know,
I mean, look,
okay,
that
so
could either be Hasbro or the convention. It doesn't at that point. It doesn't really matter. The whole point is it's the same way. Why are there dark shows, dark matches? Why do those exist in pro wrestling? Why do live events that aren't televised exist?
Just for the fans.
Just for the fans, and in order to grow the grassroots of building a bigger fan.
Well,
base.
let me ask you. So with those dark shows, do the outcome of those shows play into the
No,
main story?
not at all. Not at all. There's never a belt up. The strap is never up. And then of course just it depends on who's wrestling, what you can kind of automatically see the outcome, but it's just more about seeing them in the ring. Sometimes you'll see matches that will never ever happen, but you've always wanted to. I saw Roman Reigns versus
Shinsuke
Nakamura, and that's like, oh my god, that's insane, and it was good, but never televised.
No.
So I mean, it depends.
It's true.
I guess I get what you're saying. Okay.
A question that people are asking in the chat is if the anniversary will be before or after Cosmic Fury.
After
Cosmic Fury. You think so?
Yeah.
Speculation or?
I just have
feeling?
that'd be my hunch, is it would happen
Wait,
after.
the 30th?
Happens after Cosmic Fury. That would be my hunch.
I have little to no faith in that reunion.
Why?
I don't know. It's because they got the scabs coming in, not the real
Ugh.
OGs.
Whoa.
Wait, do you regardless of who they
scabs?
were going to bring in, is that going to change the storytelling?
Who knows? I mean, like, you know, Jason would have had a deeper connection to Trainee than...
Dude, hold on. Whoa. So you're saying Yost is a scab?
No. I'm talking about Cardenas and Catherine. They're like, they have no real connection to Trainee.
But see, that I think that's the misconception. I think actually what you're actually saying to me right now is literally...
Is it all about Trainee?
No, it's literally why I think Power Rangers should be, you know, more out there with some of their marketing stuff is simply for that. You're marketing this as a tribute to Trini, and it's not being marketed as a 30th anniversary to the franchise. And I think that's the biggest mistake.
Yeah.
Is that we're looking at this being like, well, this is a Trini story. I mean, for all intents and purposes, it seems like more than anything, it's going to be an overall Power Ranger story that just so happens to really have Trini as a tribute part of that, and infusing power into somebody brand new, which is this Yen character. But I think that's it kind of, you know, why, you know, we should kind of figure out what's going on.
I just, you know, the OG ones that didn't want to come back. This is your moment, right? Like this is your time to get back into the franchise's good graces. And
is it weird that I really don't care about any of the OGs actually coming back? Is it weird?
Like
I honestly, so I'm happy. I mean, I'm it's cool that David will be coming back, and I love Steve. Catherine's great. I would love to see Johnny. But like I don't know, like maybe it's because we've seen some of the OGs so much more, like at least with JDF and ASJ, we've seen them back more recently. I don't know if it's more about I'm not really excited to see those particular Rangers coming back. I wish it was more of an homage just to the show for the 30th
to me, it's like oh, if they were to do an office reunion and they got nobody from the original office, and then they brought Gabe, they brought like they got Clark Duke or whatever.
Yeah.
They brought like Mose or something. It's like, oh, here's your reunion. It's like, the fuck?
I don't.
The
Who
fuck
are
is
these
this?
people? Yeah, honestly,
The
you're
fuck?
Just like, no.
You know,
But-
that's.
I get it. I get
But
it.
and seeing that it is their 30th anniversary,
Like
that's a big
I
number.
understand Steve Cardenas because he is all intents and purposes been there longer than ASJ, but Catherine was just there for like, I don't know, 5-10 episodes really.
An MMPR?
Yeah, an MMPR. Like she's more Zio than she is MMPR.
Well, at that point, would you have rather them just kind of did what they did in ASJ's team up and not have Rangers portray those roles and just have their costumes on the whole time?
It would be cheaper. It would be cheaper.
Okay,
You could spend that
Jezza,
money on something else.
Jezza, if you had the money and the time, who are you bringing back? for the
Everybody
30th?
that's still around. You could bring like I would be happy them bringing back all the MMPR Rangers.
Okay.
So ASJ, Steve, Karen Ashley, Johnny, Walter, all of them.
But what? Why?
Because that's
No, I
that's
get that. I get it.
MMPR.
I don't mean why. Obviously, I know why.
Yeah.
But what's the purpose? Like, what's the story? Why are you bringing them all back?
Yeah.
Why you bring them all back? I mean, whatever the story is, like
Yeah,
them,
but you have to craft the story.
them handing over the powers to the next generation of Power Rangers.
Well, they don't even have their powers. Their powers have already been handed off.
ASJ had his powers and Beast
Well,
Morpher.
because he has a master.
He's a
morpher.
connect. No, he doesn't have a master morpher. He had a
ASJ
connection to the
he
grid.
had a connect. Yeah, he's like pretty much like existing in the
There's
grid.
a way.
The grid pulled
There's
him out.
there's a way for them to.
I have a feeling this is. I actually think with the inclusion of Billy in this is where we get the explanation of what the master morpher, how it works, and where it comes from is.
Okay,
I think
like
in the
that.
30th anniversary. So, all right, let's do this. This is a fun little game. What do you think will happen? Like, what plot points do you want to see addressed in the 30th anniversary? And what plot points do you think we'll actually get? So I think that we'll get the discovery. We'll definitely get a mention of Tommy and about how Billy gave Tommy a master morpher. And then we're going to get how it worked. Reason I think we'll get this is to sell the goddamn toy.
Dude,
is to figure out how all that works,
I
right?
don't understand why it's not selling the way it should be.
Well, it's not out yet. That's number one.
That's what I'm saying.
But-
It should have
Wait,
already
what's not
been
out yet?
A master
Master
morpher.
morpher.
But the
Wait,
reason
they're making a Master Morpher?
They said they should be.
Look,
I heard.
we have to imagine they're going to be making a master morpher for 30th anniversary. The reason I think they'll have Billy kind of explain, he'll be the one that has created it. He'll be the one kind of explain how it works. I think that way it sells more.
He'll have one also.
I think that those
And
Rangers will have.
exactly because they had no powers. The coins were destroyed. The crystals are gone. So they have no powers. So this would be the way for them to have,
They have
powers.
Well, the
Zeo
crystals
powers.
are not gone.
Are the Zeals? I thought the crystals were.
The crystals
No,
are not
Zeo
gone. They
crystals
still
are gone.
exist.
They didn't give them to someone else.
No,
Blah, blah, blah.
no.
They're just.
Those Rangers kept those crystals.
Oh
Yeah.
shoot!
That you at least you'd assume.
Wait, which Rangers you're saying?
Zeo.
The Zeo Rangers.
They still have their.
Yes.
Oh,
When they pass on their powers, they pass their turbo powers on, not the Zeo crystals. And the turbo powers were an upgrade, if you want to call it that, of the Zeo
yeah.
powers.
And then from
Upgrade.
there we went to space, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. My gosh. So
Never
they still
addressing the
have their
Zeo crystals. I mean, I'm sure we address it at some point in the comics. I know for a fact, but
Yeah,
the show we've only-
Tommy still had it.
everybody still had theirs.
Then why didn't he just come back as a Zeo instead of the Master Morpher?
Well, maybe he was able to infuse all that power together. Maybe that's
Well,
why we get the
yeah.
explanation in the 30th anniversary of how maybe the Zeo crystals power those master morphers.
But we did get another super chat from Frankie Pimentel who said, even if they do bring back past Rangers, it's going to feel very hollow like always.
See, this is another thing because
That's my concern.
that is actually where I'm not concerned.
Yeah.
Simply because I think I do trust Simon Bennett's ability to tell the stories that he wants to tell within the Power Ranger world. And I know that there's this deep desire for all of us to really want this to be like an aged up version of MMPR that we're going to be familiar with.
It's not.
We're not going to get
No,
that.
we're not.
But what we can get is this impactful storytelling, which we saw at the end of Dino Fury Season 2, Part 2, done hopefully within the confines of this 45 minute long episode or whatever this special ends up being. I am fully confident that, it'll be something compelling. I do think that the Yin story, it's too good to leave on the table. It's too good to not do.
Yes.
I think it's a great tribute to Twee. bringing back as many MMPR people as you can. That's obvious. Look, ever since Hasbro took over, we know that they have not been able to unite these Power Rangers, these Power Rangers together.
Yes.
The closest we got was that 2017 movie premiere.
Okay.
Was uniting this whole cast.
Yeah.
Right. So I also don't expect it to happen for this 30th anniversary special that they are doing, but I am confident enough that they'll be able to tell a decent story. I think personally they'll be able to tell a decent story.
Is the only reason we're not getting Amy Jo Johnson because they won't let her direct?
No, it's
Or
because she's stubborn.
she doesn't want to.
I mean, that's all speculation. We don't know why. I mean, the speculation is.
It's the same reason that Scott can't get her for Paramorphic.
The speculation is.
what's the speculation?
The speculation is yes that she wants to direct it in order to return on
I think
camera.
that would be cool.
She wants to direct it, and she wants probably a decent amount of money to do it.
I mean, she directed some episodes on Flashpoint that were.
That's different,
That's
though.
interesting. No, but I'm just saying that. Okay, maybe if she can, go ahead and let her do it. But the thing is, the money. I guess that's.
But then we
where they're,
also have to,
holding
and this
back.
is another question mark too, right? Is Power Rangers covered under the DGA? Is this a union that the Power Rangers? Well, we don't know that. I don't know that. Is this a union that Power Rangers, as it's structured right now, works with?
Directors Guild.
Right. So those are all questions that we don't have the answers to. And if they're saying, hey, we have to make this a DGA show, which means we have to make it a SAG show, regardless of what it means. If we have to change different unions in order to get one person on as a director,
I'm not doing that.
right?
Then I mean, let's say
Not saying that's the case, but I'm saying that could be a reason.
Let's say she wants $25K for her director like credit or whatever. That's like 75% of the budget for that episode or whatever.
The episode.
Yeah.
The whole freaking
Yeah, it just doesn't make any sense. CW can throw that away. Like CW can throw money at her
CW
all kinds of
definitely
it because they slowly been losing shows anyways. So like they had all this extra money. So they could give her
CW,
her
the
director
BBC, they'll be
tag.
fucking ready.
So just think she wants a director, the director tag. She also wants her appearance fee. So like
Yeah, you're getting paid twice.
yeah.
Yeah, I get it. Oh.
Again, that's all speculation. I don't want to sit here and throw out this as like it's fact, because that's not fact. But that if I were to speculate, that's what I would guess it would be.
They have a question. Thea Game says DGA question mark.
Directors Guild of America.
There you go. See, this is why you come to the show, because you get the inside baseball of what the Hollywood and studio.
At least as close as we can. I mean, look, for these super chats, I think if I were you guys, take advantage of the opportunity. Ask the questions you guys really want to know. I mean,
What
this
do you
is the
wanna
point we'll
know?
answer
Heck
it.
yeah.
All right, you have one. All right, right now. Let's just say right now you're sitting in an office with Simon Bennett.
Mm-hmm.
What's the one question you have for him right now? And he would have to answer it.
The one question I have for him. How I would ask him if you had total freedom from the network, from Hasbro, how would you revive this franchise?
Good question.
'Cause
Daniel,
I think despite like some of Power Rangers shortcomings, I think Simon Bennett really does care about trying to make it a good story. He's just limited.
well, let me ask you this, because this is a very divisive question. I feel like, so no matter which way you're going to answer it, I feel like it pisses off like one sect of the community. But let me ask you.
Love these questions.
With Power Rangers, I feel like the one thing that and you said this, I think a week ago or so. You said that one thing you feel holds it back a little bit is
fans.
right, and the reason for that is because their lack of embracing change,
Their lack of imagination.
Sure. So let's continue that line, right? If you're moving forward into the future of Power Rangers, how reliant are you on Super Sentai? And also, there's certain tropes Power Rangers also has. Obviously, we have rubber monsters. We have these spandex suits. We have these mechas like Zords. Are there any fundamental changes that need to stay with Power Rangers in order to keep it Power Rangers?
I mean, the structure of it, in essence, if you want to save money, can stay, but the stakes have to be felt. You have to know the reason why they're morphing. You have to know why, and in order to know why they're morphing, you have to see them struggle and feel the pain as civilians getting hurt by these monsters, and you have to see visually what the carnage that they could actually bring. The stakes have to be higher.
So you're speaking more of what they're looking to do for the films than the
Films
show?
or just or the future show. You know,
I mean, who's your audience?
you can. A lot of people say, "Oh, it's a kid show. It's a kid show." There are tons of kid shows that have high stakes. There are tons of Disney movies that have high stakes. I think with Power Rangers, their major flaw is the continuous pandering to children.
Well, let me ask you something, because gradually we've seen franchises change. Marvel's a really good example of this, right? We've seen it start off from I mean, we'll take some of these animated cartoons. Progressively, we get some of these, early 2000 movies, and then we're really in there with the like mid early 2000 movies. Then you get like the early start of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Like, because if you look at Iron Man compared to like where the MCU is now, it's a vast difference, right? And you don't see that happen because that change wasn't overnight. You saw it gradually happen.
Yeah.
With what you want to do with Power Rangers, do you think that that's too much change too quickly?
I think with Power Rangers, what they need to do is, like I said, feel the stakes. They need to ground it a little bit, like Iron Man did.
But do you start doing that slowly, or would you just, because like what it feels like to me, and correct me if I'm wrong, and even anybody out there watching at home, correct me if I'm wrong, but like it feels to me that like as fans, we want Power Rangers to change and to live on. However, do you think that there's a point where the change is too drastic, where it doesn't feel like Power Rangers anymore? Like, really good examples, the 2017 movie, right? Mm-hmm. I would say that I like the movie personally, but it's very divisive amongst Power Ranger fans. Okay. A lot of fans don't feel that's Power Rangers. A lot of fans are upset because they didn't morph, like whatever it may have been. There was certain things in there that it wasn't for every Power Ranger fan. So the question I have is, now that we know that we're on this show we're doing this show for 30 years, do you slowly try to make it change? Now we have Dino Fury Season 2, Part 2, which definitely felt like a change from Season 1, and also a huge change from anything really that Power Rangers done previously. Do you kind of go in that direction and slowly change things, or do you just, next thing you do, make it completely different, where it feels almost unrecognizable?
I feel it's all about steps. I feel that they've been taking those steps. They've been moving a little bit towards, here's the change. And soon after a while, it's no longer a race, it's a marathon. And they've been going pretty well at this marathon, but are we looking to just cross the finish line? Are we looking to still go ahead and continue for distance? If we're looking to continue for distance, the change as the way they've been progressing would be fine. But if we're looking to hit the finish line because, hey, we're about to reboot, then go for the finish line. Right. Make the change. Make it happen quick, fast, in a hurry. But they already have stuff planned out. Yeah. Look, like what's going to happen with the show has already been planned out. So please stop hitting up Simon Bennett with suggestions.
Well, they can't. He's off of Twitter now.
Yeah. Well, no, he's already back.
Is he back now?
So you need to stop hitting him up with suggestions because they're not going to happen. Same thing for the 30th. It's about what's coming up after. So I would suggest making the change after the 30th. Let's really go full on with the change. Oh, he's still not? I thought he was back.
The mistake that 2017 made was the same mistake that early 2000 superhero movies made, where they wanted to keep it grounded, and they didn't want to like, for example, comic book costumes, right? Mm-hmm. X-Men, they went with just black leather or whatever. Even the early Transformers movie, they kept the aesthetic of the Transformers. They wanted to keep it practical. They wanted to make it look real. When we got that scene from Bumblebee on Cybertron, it worked.
Well, that 2017 movie, do you think the misstep is taken because
the creative control of the designs, like, go for it.
Let me ask you this: do you think that, like, because look, I think that the natural reaction when anybody talks about reboot of Power Rangers, the natural reaction is, oh, it has to start with Mighty Morphin. It has to kind of follow that same trope. Do you feel that, like, if we were to reboot if we were to reboot Power Rangers, that's where it should start, or should it start off in the space battle, more Star Warsy, with this epic fight between Rita and Zed and Zordon with this planet Eltar and all this other like space mythology.
It can start as long as you got the pacing right. It's fine. You know,
It's not too much of a change. What you're saying?
it's like you can do it.
Okay,
like,
let me ask you this: you're a Ninja Turtle fan, right? Because I feel like there's a lot of parallels with Power Rangers and Ninja Turtles. With Ninja Turtles, you had your golden era, which would have been that first show that hit the 90s.
Well, it wasn't. That wasn't like. It was.
That was peak popularity of golden
That was peak
era.
popularity.
So we'll say that we'll consider that
that
golden
was-
era.
yeah, but it was
the golden era of
nostalgia
Ninja
that
Turtles.
pushed it.
100%. But that was the golden era of Ninja Turtles. Now, what do you think would have been your Ninja Turtle renaissance, and where is the state of the fandom with Ninja Turtles now?
So a lot of people always go to the 2012 cartoon as like, oh, it's the new Renaissance. I personally love the 2003 animated series that 4Kids had. It was true to the comics, true to the characters, true to everything. I thought that was great.
So
But
that was your Ninja Turtle renaissance. But where's the state of the franchise now?
the state of the franchise now, they had a little bit of a lull with the Rise of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles series, but with the release of the new movie based off the thing, that people understood it more and found a new love for it.
Do you think that Ninja Turtles will ever recapture its height in its glorious years?
Not the mistake, but they're still like, even though Rise of the Ninja Turtles kind of like messed it up a little bit, the high that they got from that 2012 cartoon series, I think it kept them. They're in the black right now. Like when in terms of like sales and stuff, they're in the black right now. Close between black and green.
What's a healthier franchise, Power Rangers or
Green.
Ninja Turtles?
Ninja Turtles.
Why would you say that?
I think Ninja Turtles is easier to market. Ninja Turtles comics are doing really well last run, and some of the best comics that IDW had put out. It's marketable because it's easy to market because it's such a like people still know that it's around. You see merchandise everywhere. People still buy merchandise. People still buy things.
So it's made its mark on pop culture, and that's what's keeping it.
Yes, and then you like just even with the 1990s movies, they've moved from HBO. I think they started off on. They had a stint on Hulu, and then they moved to HBO, and then now they're back on Netflix. They're like, the contract for those movies is still popular. That they want to keep, have it be an asset on their catalogs. Even you'd think it would be on like Paramount Plus or something or whatever, but no. I think it's just marketable. Like everything is like even nostalgia wise, the party wagon is iconic.
Yes,
You know, the party wagon is iconic. It's kind of the same with MMPR a little bit, but like what people don't realize is MMPR is still going on, or like Power Rangers is still going on. People don't realize.
People do not.
And that's at the fault of the brand. I think that Ninja Turtles is easier to market because, in essence, it doesn't change. Like the story doesn't really change, or the story they have like different stories, but like the heart of it stays the same.
You think that was? Do you think that that's attributed to the fact though that those are the base characters are essentially people in rubber Ninja Turtle suits, and they're also been in anime. They're anthropomorphic fictional. They're not live action human beings.
Yeah.
Do you think it's made it easier because of that though?
Maybe a little bit if it's animated.
Right.
I think because it's animated, it's easier. Having live action stuff, it gets a little kind of crazy.
I think so, because when it is that way, anthropomorphic characters that aren't human, aren't even a race, there's a more, it gives freedom for everyone to be able to see themselves in each turtle. Like some people may, oh, I'm a hothead. Oh, you're definitely a Raph. Oh, I'm a cool, chill kind of guy. Oh, you're Michelangelo. Oh, I'm the smart geek. Oh, you're Donatello. Oh, I'm the natural born leader. Oh, you're a Leo.
Yeah.
It's like, that can happen just that way. And actually, the truth of the matter is, it's something, unfortunately, that I don't feel girls can connect to as much, even though they do have Venus de Milo, I thought people hate her, and then they have that new one in the comics, and that's
No, that-
the
I think-
only
How do
problem.
How do people feel about Venus de Milo?
They forgot about her.
Yeah.
They forgot- There's a new.
There's a new one. What's her name?
Yeah, I can't remember.
See?
But
There you
she's,
go.
She's yellow. She's a.
Are you?
But I think Team Ninja Turtles is less concerned about grabbing the female.
Which
audience.
Ninja Turtles is your origin story? Like that they got this mutational ooze thing, or they're aliens, or what?
It's always the same.
It's always ooze.
Alright.
It's always the same. It's always ooze. It's always alien. So when people,
Well, yeah.
when people like got all angry about the Michael Bay thing about it saying like aliens and stuff, it's always been aliens. It's always been.
Wait, what do you mean?
It's always been alien technology that mutated the turtles.
Oh, it wasn't just something
No,
whatever
it-
that company was that made the ooze or whatever.
No, it's the Krang. The Krang created the ooze. that-
So Krang did it. Apparently, Krang is like the Kree, experimenting on.
Krang is like
Earth?
so Krang is like the Skrulls where there's good and bad.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I thought Krang was that brain-looking guy.
it's him, but then there's the race is also the Krang.
So, but his name is also Krang.
Yeah,
So no, I get it.
So wait a minute.
When an Earthling finds or was introduced to Krang, he says, I am Krang, meaning I am I am human or whatever, and they were just like, all right,
So,
Krang
yeah.
is his name, that runs with it.
So in the
And they just ran with it.
in the 90s, there's only one Krang, because they didn't really expand on his.
But see, that's the thing that Power Rangers it's kind of. Power Rangers Turtles drives me crazy because it starts off with like, "Hey, we're vigilantes and we're here. We're fighting bad guys in this organization called the Foot."
Yeah.
And then it's like, and then the Foot's here because of Shredder, and Shredder has a situation with our dad, and blah blah,
So-
and that's big. And then it's like, and now. Here goes cosmic stuff. And it's
Well,
like,
yeah.
wait, what do you mean
Well,
cosmic?
and-
Whoa, there's an alien, and then after that, there's Yosaki Yojimbo, and that's time travel, but that's also this, and then there's dimension, and then you're like, nope, I'm done.
So that's
I
that's
can't.
the so like in the IDW comics, they kind of just briefly and the origins just briefly talk about Krang, but it's really just the history between
Shredder and
Hamato Yoshi and
yes.
All right, so wait, well, let me bring this back to Power Rangers real quick. So let's say, well, we already know that things are going to get rebooted, but like during this reboot, do you think that we still get the Jason, Zach, Tommy, Kimberly, or do you think it's completely brand new characters thrown into this whatever this
the
universe is
safe
like?
move would be to bring back the original names.
I'm going to go ahead and say I think it's going to be completely all new original characters.
Do you?
I want that.
Well, I know we want that, but will it work? That's the thing. It's all about.
Well, that's the question.
It all comes down to.
Will it work with the actual hardcore fan base? Probably not. Will it work with the mainstream? Is what
That's the question.
Maybe.
That's the question.
But the thing is, with the mainstream audience, it's all about brand recognition.
I'll say this though.
Yeah.
I would be shocked if that whatever Jonathan Entwistle doing doesn't have a dinosaur element to it. I'd be shocked because I know how much Hasbro loves having a dinosaur
Dinosaurs?
franchise
Oh.
because they don't have the major dinosaur franchise, which would have been Jurassic Park.
I think
Dinosaur
I just
stuff.
really
Sorry.
think it really just comes down to brand recognition, and in order to like, it's just like the Avengers and X-Men and stuff. Everybody else. Oh, we
telling
need
you, I think-
Wolverine. We need this.
I think Entwistle is great for the reboot and doing it with like a completely different thing and everything going on. Somehow you still end up connecting it to everything from the past. By doing that, like I said, that's where you go for the animated anthology and call it the Chronicles of the Grid. And it's just stories concerning different Ranger teams, different things. You can start the very first one with going over Rita, Eltar, and
But I feel like
Zed
when you do it
for
that way, so
for
look-
like a story arc, like 5 episodes, and then after that, the next 5.
But where are you
episodes
putting your
is something
focus?
else.
Are you putting your focus on Entwistle stuff or stuff that the fans are already familiar with?
Stuff the fans are already familiar with that you never got to address? Stuff like how the comic book is doing.
So
where
how are
they're
you
like, "Yo,
transitioning
we're
those
addressing."
fans over to your new brand though?
Well, those fans are going to be the existing fans, us right now, and
So you're
the-
literally just creating content just to appease that section of the
You're
fan
going to
base.
need a separate bit of content to do that
You
because
know-
if you don't, they're going to
That's
walk
what I
away
think-
from. They're going to walk away from the franchise completely.
Well, that's what I think that the comic books are going to be for, personally.
Do you think people that are consuming Power Rangers by watching television are?
All right, so let's take the dollars and cents of this. Let's take the dollars and cents of this, right? You want to do about 4 animated shows?
No,
3?
2.
3. You said that an adult anime.
An adult animated, which is
an anthology.
No, the adult is the anthology.
Oh, so so just the anthology, and then you want to do a kids one.
Yep.
So you want 2 concurrent
you gotta
shows.
keep the kids happy.
And then you want to, and then you also want to do a brand new. You also want to do a brand new whole universe.
The brand new whole universe is live action film.
Right. So that's a whole other thing.
Then
And all 3 connected?
and still wondering about what is going to happen for live action television.
So
That's
you want
where I
4
don't know.
different things.
Yep.
For a franchise that's not even drawing a dime now currently.
4 different things, but let's be honest, the kid one you can give the kids just you can give them just dressed up blah 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 and they're just like, yeah, I'm happy, I don't care. But it's and you can also, if you do it with, like I said, with the chibi
Do you
way,
worry
you'll
about
still sell
confusing
toys.
your audience though? No.
I don't think so. I
fascinating.
think that the fans would be able to once again deal with the anthology stuff, because it's like, oh, these are stories of the grid. These are cool things that happen from stuff that we
And
remember.
this is all
that
running
we love.
concurrently.
Yeah. Stuff that we love, stuff that we want, stuff that we've always been like, oh man,
The only reason I don't
wonder why.
well,
blah,
one of
blah,
the main reason I don't think that works is because it's too much content all at once. So there's a reason why Star Wars spaces out their content from movies to shows. I mean, same thing. Marvel does the same thing. They'll space out their shows, their movies, and I think that it's just too much. Especially if you're rebooting a show and then giving us this anthology show for a universe that's not going to continue, and then you're giving us like a kids version.
The anthology, that's the thing, because if you're going to walk away from all that you've done, all that you set up, you're going to walk away from 30 years.
Right.
So many people are like, well, then we're walking away too. You didn't care about it, so why should we
When
care?
we say so many people.
I feel like a lot of fans will walk away when you just say goodbye to it completely.
But if the fan base isn't that strong now anyway, do you think that they're thinking, well, what does it matter? Like, why don't we just start fresh now anyway?
I
Capture a
do
new fan
understand
base.
that, but if you're doing the start fresh, that means you're going for just the mainstream. You don't care about what you've already set up before. The mainstream's not going to be interested if the hardcore isn't showing up talking to mainstream people, telling them, "Oh man, have you seen? Oh man, have you seen?"
All right, so it's interesting.
Who's going to be the person to tell the mainstream?
There's a
that
franchise
this is out?
that tried doing this on a smaller scale that did it, I would say, unsuccessfully.
What franchise?
Masters of the Universe. They put out 2 concurrent animated series, both of which didn't connect.
Okay, yeah, but how long of a space between them doing anything to them just popping up and doing a bunch of different things?
A long
Power
time.
Rangers is still going.
Yeah.
But it's not like it's in the lexicon of like pop culture.
Power Rangers, no. The 90s, yeah, not anything after.
Right.
You're right.
So,
You're right.
I mean, it would be an oversaturation of something that not a lot of people are asking for.
But the thing is, if you're just going to go ahead and say, all right, let's drop everything and let's start completely new, then all the people that have been
let me ask
watching
you
for
this.
30 years,
Let's use
what
Doctor
would
Who.
the fans watch? Oh, okay.
Doctor Who's a really good example of this.
Yeah, we had a big stop and then pop back up. In
Right. So if
2005.
Doctor Who started coming out with about 2 animated shows, 2 more series, and its slew of movies, do you think that its fan base increases?
Honestly, I'm going to tell you it did. Big Finish was your way of thinking that. Big Finish was instead of comics, they did an audio drama.
Where are the fans now?
And then after that, the fans are waiting for the Black Doctor.
Because the Doctor Who community I would say for the better part of the last 5 years.
They dropped the ball with the female Doctor because the story that they chose to do, saying the lost child.
But
whatever
also
that thing was,
every kind of spin-off show also failed. Every single one of them.
Spin-offs were never a thing. that
Sarah
they should
Jane
have done.
Chronicles,
Yeah, once again, something
Torchwood.
something they never should have done. It's Doctor Who. Just stick with the Doctor. Who cares about everybody else?
But what I'm saying is that if you gave us that Doctor plus a rebooted Doctor with a bunch of movies plus 2 more animated series about any Doctor that can travel through time, and then a kids Doctor Who show,
there wouldn't be a kids Doctor. Now, what they did do, they did Big Finish, which the other head is an anthology. It talks about other Doctors
Sure.
from way before. It gives us stuff that we didn't get before. It gave us the eighth Doctor on his adventures, which we never got to see because they were never written or anything. So we get that with Big Finish. And then in the comics also was like, hey, we're going to jump around with different doctors for different stuff, even though they did have a storyline with like whoever.
Nobody's reading the Doctor Who comics.
Exactly.
So it's not even in a major. It's a
Big
Titan
Finish,
Comics, not even a major publisher.
So exactly. So Big Finish is what was good. It's still good. It's big. Everyone's like, oh, okay, an audio drama, and it's an anthology. Talks about every other Doctor. It doesn't matter. The current show was good until we did some stuff.
But let's
that made
back up for a
everyone
second
upset.
because the Big Finish show also isn't just a show that anybody can watch. You actually have to buy that content separately, so it's geared towards specific Doctor Who fans, not a mainstream
That's very
audience.
true. Very true. But it's something that they will always refer, like Whovians.
Sure,
always
it's the
refer.
same way the Power
Blah,
Rangers
blah.
is kind of using the comics loosely now.
Yes. But then after that, also you have just the show itself, which is that's where like okay, everyone knows about the show. Well, everyone that actually enjoys Doctor Who knows about the show. Everybody else is just like, I've heard it.
That's my point. That's exactly my point. So my whole thing is that too much Power Ranger
can't
content too quickly is going to be too much that people just won't care about. So look,
So
they have a
just
hard enough
reboot
time.
and that's it?
They have a hard enough time having people watch one show that's coming out, let alone 4 other ones, right? So like, I mean, honestly, like,
so just reboot and that's it.
I don't know if reboot's the answer. I think the show needs a facelift, but not. It shouldn't forget its identity that it's had for the last 30
How about
years.
this? How about new cast, new names, but same MMPR suits?
No.
Not like I'm saying like same aesthetic, like the dinosaur suits.
I don't even know if they have to go to MMPR. I think that what you should do, I think that, look, you have to make
Hold on,
a...
what does Aaron have to say? He's saying something, and I'm like, hold on, what does he have to say?
I'll read it. He can't read it. He has to get that close.
When the current series was running David Tennant, they did have an animated series going on.
Yeah, they did.
Sarah Jane wasn't bad. Torchwood was a bit out there and focused on something different. Near the anniversary one, though, with David and Matt, they started to tie it all in. The film Doctor became the War Doctor. If you stagger the content around as if you say it in January and nothing else, then you have nothing to keep them talking.
Yeah, well, that's the biggest thing. Look,
You have to keep whatever franchise you're trying to push. You have to keep it on their lips. You have to keep it on their tongue.
wouldn't the best
Because
way
if
to
you
do
don't-
that to create just good content?
Yeah, but the problem is if you go ahead, like you said, all right, hey, just put it out of the bingeable thing. Great, we saw it at the time it came out. It's bingeable, and the whole thing with bingeable stuff is everybody's like, "Did you see it? Did you see it? Yeah, I saw it. It was great. Oh man, it was great for the first
then
week it
that's
came out.
it.
You saw it. It was great to talk about it for the residual.
Who's buying your who's your target market audience, and who's buying your toys?
That's where I asked earlier. That's why I asked Jezer. It depends because kids are what you originally say it's for, but
Kids
it's
aren't
adults.
buying-
It's adults that are keeping
Well,
Power
then
Rangers
look,
alive.
we
Adults
gotta.
are buying the.
And that's a
Lightning
bigger
figures.
problem. That's a bigger problem
They're
because then I
collectibles.
don't think they're identifying the right audience.
No, they're
So
not.
if you're trying to capture kids from the ages they're trying to capture them, then obviously putting it out on Netflix is the best option because when kids watch YouTube, what are they doing? They're watching the next thing.
Yes.
So if that's your target market audience, then that's the direction you have to go in, right? To make it streamable. If you're saying, hey, I'm going to age up this franchise and that's the target market audience because that's the money we want, then you have to change your whole thing. You have to change your whole business strategy because then at that point you want to create essentially an MCU or a Marvel, a universe that can be your cash cow, your golden ticket. You want to make retail toys that are, yes, for kids, but also have the collectible element to it. These Marvel Legends Lightning Collection is a great way to talk. I mean, same thing. The McFarlane figures that they're doing. Yes, these are decently priced figures, but they're also great collectibles, and majority of adults probably are buying those. I haven't seen a ton of kids with fucking
Power Ranger toys.
right.
No, but Marvel, I mean, like you said, Marvel is on every level. They are pulling people. Like I said, the whole idea for like a chibi kind of thing.
Again,
was
go
from
back
Marvel,
to
superhero things.
2008 when Iron Man was coming out though, and see what they were doing. It wasn't like they were putting out all this extreme Marvel content.
No, actually, for anything that was like television, film, or anything, it was very quiet until like.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like it has to be a gradual thing. Like
Yeah.
you have to slowly integrate into like the mainstream rather than being like, yeah, we're gonna just give up right now. and then come back into the world, and everyone's gonna know who we are, and we're gonna. It doesn't.
Well,
It's harder to.
That's what I said. I said don't just disappear and come back.
But also you don't
they're already
oversaturate
there.
it either by giving them too much, because I feel like that's a lot. And you also just identify your audience, identify who you want this show to be for. I mean, certain shows can work on every level. I feel like certain shows can work for.
Who is Marvel for?
Marvel's for the general audience currently right now. It's for the general audience, the general movie going on.
Do I have an age demo?
Yeah, I mean, your target age demographics 18 to 35, so I'd assume that Marvel's would be as well. Okay. I mean, obviously, it's marketed towards younger because younger kids buy toys and merchandising. What? Power Rangers is like 3 to 10 currently.
Yeah, and you don't want to have that continue. You want to.
Well, it depends. I mean, if you want to have that continue to be like your like Bluey or something, so the kids can identify it and grow up with it, like a SpongeBob or something, that's one thing. Mm-hmm. But if you're trying to expand a universe where people are trying to buy movie tickets to and trying to compete with DC, Marvel, Star Wars, and all these other massive universes, then you want to get on that same type of level.
Yeah.
Okay.
But you can't put out that same type of content so quickly.
Okay, yeah, because you can't just put out 18 to 35 content.
If they put out right now a Cobra Kai animated show and then a Cobra Kai anthology show, I'm not going to watch all that much Cobra Kai. You know what I'm saying?
No.
So that's what I'm saying. Like they got to just ease their ways into this. Daniel Prime's in here. He says when you change your content to go after a new demographic, it's your fault when the old fans leave. That's true. That is true.
That's why I said I can't just.
But I don't think they're worried about the old fans' dollar because they've gotten as much as they can get from any one of those older fans. Yep. The brand's not growing with the older fan base.
We squeezed the orange. We've got the juice. So now we're moving on to
get another something to juice.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
We're going on to make lemonade
but
now.
these are all just theories, right?
Yeah.
These are all just fan theories.
I mean, it's us
like
just
our
kinda...
boy Dan over at Fan Theory got a video.
I can't do this on my own, cause you know things ain't always sweet when you out here in these streets. But my morpher, when it morphed, I made a fake.
What are the chances that we will see a 7th Ranger in Power Rangers Cosmic Fury? Now, there are a lot of different theories that are kind of coming out about a possible 7th Ranger. One, you have 6 Rangers returning, so we know we're not going to get any more Rangers. Maybe one. Now, there was some talk about Charlie Kirsch being the 7th Ranger, but then there's also talk about her being in the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers special, the 30th anniversary reunion thing. Is she the reason why they merge? If they do merge, right? Maybe these are two completely different things, but it would almost make sense that some characters from that special appear in Cosmic Fury, maybe not all of them. But what are the chances that we could see a 7th Ranger? And we're gonna look more into it today. Could it be Yen? Could it be Fern? Could it be Tarek? Is there a possibility that we could have like a purple Ranger leader? Kind of like how we did in Q Ranger, right? There is a purple Defender Ranger looking guy in Q Ranger, and I think it would be pretty cool to have Tarek redeem himself and be a Power Ranger. Talk about the ultimate redemption story. I came in season 1, episode 1 as a villain for like a season and a half, tried to be good. It was just a crazy story with him, and now actually he's the Pink Ranger's dad, and now he could be a Power Ranger. How cool is that? Tarek, it would be a fun character growth moment if he went from a villain to good to villain to Power Ranger. It's kind of cool, man. What are your thoughts? Let me know below. Let's see what the fans are saying in the comments. Aaron said, in Q Ranger, the Red Ranger was the White Ranger. Okay, so maybe they do something similar. Obviously, we are not using the Q Ranger suits, but let's see about that. Yes, Zeta will be the White Ranger at the end of Dino Fury, but it's still to be said if he's going to be the White Ranger next season. I have no idea. It would be pretty cool, though, if he did change as the White Ranger. Would there be a Red Ranger? Would this be like a season where they don't have Red? Very interesting, but I feel like Red is a seller. Like, you almost have to have a Red Ranger. What are your guys' thoughts? Could you see a season with no Red Ranger? Nah, I don't. I definitely think there would be a Red Ranger. I think maybe you could swap a few colors out. It's a really fun time to be a fan, guys, with so many fan theories and questions and things we are in the dark about. And tell you the truth, I don't care if there's 6 Rangers. I think we might have a 7th Ranger, but I love that we have no idea what's going on. We only know what 2 of the suits look like. We saw the gold and the green. That's it. We have no idea. And the fact that they didn't give us all of them makes me think that something is being changed. Maybe they're adding a Ranger. Maybe the colors are being flipped. Man, I can't wait. It is a good time to be a fan because there was a time a few years ago when it was kind of dry and there was no hype behind the show because the show wasn't very good at the time. And now that this show is moving in the right direction, we can push it, we can talk about it, have fan theories. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Who is the 7th Ranger? Could it be Yen? Could it be this Charlie Hirsch played character? Let me know about that because there are a lot of things that make sense there. Maybe in Cosmic Fury she gets her powers or something and then she is the Ranger, the newer Ranger, to team up with those guys, or vice versa. What if she starts at the reunion and then a few months later she pops into Cosmic Fury? Very interesting. I do not know. I think it would be fun to add a 7th Ranger. Could it be Tarek? Could it be Fern? Could it be a character we're not really thinking of, or somebody completely new? What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments. Thank you guys so much for taking the time out of your day to watch this content. You are the real MVPs and the reason why we just keep these videos going and going. We love you guys and appreciate you. Thanks for watching and we'll see you next time. Peace.
Man, I can't believe that you guys got that email about the new suit.
Just looking at it right now, this is incredible.
Don't worry about that.
You know, there's I guess there's a big reason why there's not a Yellow Ranger in Cosmic Fury, and there could be if Dan's theory comes true.
Oh, that would be cool.
There you go. You got a Yellow Ranger. Yellow Ranger to complete that Cosmic Fury team, huh?
Yeah, it would be cool. You know what I've been getting a lot of on the comments is like, when are you guys gonna issue an apology? I was like,
for what?
For Simon Bennett's comment about toy or whatever.
You know, we can issue it right now. Look, deep down, seriously, I think that it's only fair, especially since Simon Bennett did come out and say that the partnership wasn't going to continue, even though the investor meeting, which happened literally a couple days after, did say that it was going to be something completely new. But we did want to apologize for absolutely nothing that we got wrong.
Are you kidding me with that? Oh my God. Are you serious? If you can't see the writing on the wall, then you are an idiot. I tell you, it's crazy.
No, but look, we were just talking to Josh when that video was playing a second ago, and he brought up a really good question.
Yeah.
Do you think Cosmic Fury goes back and forth from stuff that happens in space and on Earth? Because Buzz Blast is already set up. We know they're also introducing an Angel Grove Buzz Blast.
Yeah.
Could Charlie work there as maybe a newscaster?
Oh yeah, Buzz Blast. I think it's gonna be like how Space did it, where they keep coming back for some reason, and Andros is pissed, like, man, I want to go to my home.
Okay, so we were talking about this a second ago. Earlier on, I said that, I think that we're going to get an explanation by Billy that A, he created the Master Morphers, and B, how they work. I also think, and this is just me putting on all speculation here between all of us and all of you guys, and by the way, we have the super chat feature. So if you guys
Yeah,
want
so
to
you can,
any
if you guys
questions-
want to be put
so let's
on the wheel of Power Rangers.
We'll throw another. I'm going to throw another fun theory I really like out there. Is that I don't want to guarantee, but I think strongly we're going to see the Astro Mega ship.
I think we will too. Astro Mega Ship is gonna be the ship that they're using to travel.
I would also agree.
Where is it right now?
It is located on Terra Venture. No, it's not.
It's located on Earth. It was in the museum, right? Weren't they putting it in the museum and the
No, it was
Space Rangers took it?
It was in the museum on Terra Venture.
Yeah,
but Terra Venture fell.
Yeah.
So
well, but also in this,
it's in
current time,
Miranoi Bay.
Terra Venture is not in the future. It was in the past.
Mm-hmm.
How is it that we don't ever discuss or try another Terra Adventure? Like for all this time, I never understood that.
I think that was a failed project.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm like, dude,
Project
that was so
Terra
great.
Venture did not work out, right? Maybe the next voyage it'll be like the Terra Venture 2 coming to you.
Yeah.
Another one. All right, so let's throw them out there. What you got? You got anything that you think is going to happen on? And I want to hear your guys. Like, what are things that you want to try?
For sure.
You said earlier, I think we're gonna see the evolution of Zed into Don
Armaja. Yeah, I do.
And
I do.
for sure, the Aquatar Rangers are gonna be in it with Billy, but not in civil. Not
I would also
fully
agree.
suited up.
Fully agree.
Yeah,
fully suited.
Nobody wants to see that bumpy head.
Nobody wants to see that bumpy head.
No.
All right, so we got Aquatar Rangers. We should write this on the board. Those little things. Aquatar Rangers, Astro Mega Ship. I also think within the course of the Cosmic. All right, so there's 10 episodes.
Yes.
We know that we'll see. I think we're for sure we'll see the Master Morphers again.
Yes.
Morphin
Masters.
Morphin Masters. I want to say Master Morphin Masters again.
Dane.
I honestly do. So here's the thing.
He had a great run in the comics.
I think for sure. I don't want to say for sure, but I think that we'll definitely get some
Doggy.
more.
We'll get Doggy.
Well, I think we're gonna get deeper ties to the comics. I think Dane would be a good example of that because imagine like hire this bounty hunter like guy that has a
Dane's whole story was great because it was like I'm here to actually free these prisoners that they put away and ultimately forgot.
People are saying, do you think that they're gonna be the Omega Rangers?
I wouldn't be shocked if we got at the very least, because if you have, 100%. So here's the thing.
Omega Rangers will be there during the 30th.
No, right, that's what we're saying. We're talking about the 30th. So
okay.
I think what will happen is how else do you have kind of like an interaction between Catherine and Rocky and them meeting Zach for the first time and Zach having to explain, we had this peace conference, but here's what was really happening.
Yeah.
And then look, we already know Simon Bennett likes doing these these big epic flashbacks. Cut to imagine these Rangers in their Omega Ranger suits on another world, just in a brief moment, suited up fighting
against Dane.
Against any of these characters. Dane would be a great. I think if you're gonna bring back a villain to be like one of the main villains for that thing, I think Dane would be a good choice.
Yeah.
Right, to kill off the.
But if the Omega Rangers are in the show, then Draken's in the show.
Okay, so let's go wild for a second. And think.
Wild Force.
What could this plot be? Like let's use the element of like Yin and Trini. We know that who's coming back. If you were really trying to like fill in the blanks of like, all right, what does this look like? What could it be? And really go out there. What does it look like? Now, granted, I'm sure what all three of us are going to say is not what they're going to do, but
yeah, it's not going to be.
What are some of those things? What elements would you put in there?
Andros comes back.
Well, but give me the whys. Like, who is the villain? Why are they coming back?
Yeah.
Okay. Zed is on a mission.
So all right. You're starting off with Zed, and knowing that Zed is going to tie into Cosmic Fury, you trying to connect the two right off the bat.
Yep. Okay. Zed's on a mission. Whether or not Cosmic Fury is before or after the reunion, Zed's still going to play a part. Zed is going to. We're going to have an explanation on how Zed is back. Because remember.
Well, we have it already for the show, don't we?
Well, how did they say? Because he was fully, became human after Zordon's tube got.
Oh yeah, how did that? Okay.
Do you think we'll see Thrax, his son?
That was
Zed's
something I
son
was
Thrax.
wondering.
Oh, they forgot about that.
Also,
Yeah.
missed opportunity if we don't get a Mystic Mother appearance.
Oh,
That's
Just
what I
gonna
was
say right
if
now.
You're gonna say if
Mystic
you're
Mother
gonna say
trying
that.
to stop
Mystic
Zed.
Mother played by Carla,
Yeah, trying to stop Zed.
trying to stop Zed.
Yep.
Fantastic story writes itself.
Mystic Mother is the one that reunites Yen with the original MMPR.
I would not hate that. I would not hate that. I think I would kind of like that a lot. I personally think too, what should happen is that I think that Zed's dealing with the Cosmic Rangers, but he has this grudge against all these Rangers that wronged him in the past.
Yeah.
And he can't get rid of the fact that these teenagers with attitudes at the time defeated him, right?
Yeah.
He hires Dane because he can't deal with all these Rangers right now. And Dane is like the one is like going out there and like either attacking or killing off these original Rangers.
Ooh.
And bring them back.
How does Scrozzle come into play?
Scrozzle's not in my script.
Scrozzle's not in your script?
not in my script. Now,
Isn't
I don't know.
Scrozzle the reason that Zed is back? Or like,
Scrozzle is...
Scrozzle's
because Zed
big
was like a
contributing factor.
yeah.
Yeah. Scrozzle is the reason he got his staff back.
Yeah, but he's
Oh, yo.
played his part. He's done.
There is a YouTube channel I actually want to shout out. By the way, before I do that, I'll do that a little bit later. I do have one exclusive. I'm willing to drop it actually,
Right now?
Oh, really?
Let's...
but
Okay,
it's a lightning collection one.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Go ahead.
Really?
You know what? I'm not gonna do it.
Why
just
not?
because you hyped it up like that, I'm not gonna do it now.
Let's go.
It was a lightning collection one. It was
Let's
a
go.
lightning collection one. It wasn't
Okay.
anything major.
Let's go.
Well, go do it.
No, I'm not gonna do it anymore.
Aw, what?
I chickened out. It can't happen. Oh, check it out.
Damn.
There's a all right. Fuck it. It's a lightning collection one. We're gonna be getting. I think it's the Wild Force Red Ranger Battleizer suit, but it won't have a head swap.
Oh, really?
Oh.
Really? Huh.
Josh Perry, is this true?
Yeah, Josh Perry, you let us know. Because
Wild Force, which is that,
the
the one
man.
with the wings?
Yeah.
Bruh.
No, I don't want it.
Does it come with his dead roommate?
Wow.
Oh.
Hey!
It's one of those shows. All right, so let's go back. Let's talk also about what we want. 30th Cosmic Fury, Beyond Cosmic Fury. Any seasons that you wanted adapted that they didn't do?
Q Ranger.
I mean, technically, according to certain other sites, that this is a Q Ranger adaptation. What
Oh,
are you
yeah,
talking
this
about?
is a Q Ranger adaptation, y'all. We're totally just
the
throwing...
Zords are there. Yeah.
We're just throwing... That's just the news. Oh, they're adapting Q Ranger. You guys didn't watch the freaking presentation, you morons.
God, Jezzer, you have so much hate. Why?
Yeah,
Because
man.
they're just Captain Mediocres, man. Fucking trash. Fucking trash, bro.
Power Rangers. I look. I really liked Power Rangers the most in 2017. Not the movie, but the era. The reason why is I feel like that's when the fan
Wasn't
base.
that Ninja Steel?
The era. And I'm going to say it's like right around that 2017 time is when we got introduced to Draken. It's when that movie was coming out. It's when there was a lot of buzz around the franchise, right? It felt like it was coming back into pop culture. It felt like it was taking a big step forward with Bill Hader, you know, with Walter White, you know, Bryan Cranston, Elizabeth Banks.
Oh my
You got to think like this movie had stars in it, right? But not just that. Forget about that for a second. Forget about that 2017 movie as a whole. But I think that movie, what it did at its best is it put Power Rangers back on the tip of people's tongues to the point where I do honestly think that if they would have continued on with that series of films, I think the franchise would be in a different place right now. It would probably be in the era of like when we first started getting the Transformers movies. But like it wouldn't be in any worse spot.
How many Transformers movies did we get?
I think like 4, right? The Bay Area had 4 or 5. 5?
I don't know. There's the
There's
night
6.
one. Yeah, see?
Oh, man.
Yeah. So you're right. If we at least had that.
One,
I
two,
feel
three.
momentum.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
And then we had
Dark
two
Side of
Mark.
the Moon.
We had 2 Mark Wahlberg movies, and then Bumblebee,
Oh, yeah.
and then soon Rise of the Beast.
But Bumblebee's a different universe than the other movies.
No, it's
the
it's a
same.
prequel.
Mm.
It's a prequel.
It's connected to the other movies?
Yeah.
And that's confirmed?
It was what was happening to Bumblebee the whole
Because it's
time.
interesting.
Remember,
This new movie takes place 5 years after that one.
Does it?
Yeah.
Okay, so
I don't know if that's out there, but I don't care. Hasbro can get mad all they want. But that
he was
movie,
there for years.
the new one takes place 5 years after the Bumblebee.
So is Haley Steinfeld still there?
Haley Steinfeld's still in the universe, but I don't know if she's in the movie.
I mean, she's still in the universe, yeah, but I mean, she's not there by the
But
time
how would they
Shia
explain
shows
it?
up.
So this is why Beast Wars, the best Transformers series ever.
I'm not a Transformers guy, so.
But Beast Wars, amazing. So Beast Wars
This
takes
is also-
They
I
even
just
came
realized-
back to it for the new
This
show.
is also probably why I don't like the Mexican Power Rangers, is because I'm not.
No.
I can't
We need-
attach
we need-
myself
we
to
need
these
to get you to
robotic.
watch-
robots.
We need to get you to watch
Robots.
an episode of Beast Wars. It's
Robotic
solid.
robots.
Honestly.
So Beast Wars in the original series, the G1 series, overrated series, they crash onto Earth. What they don't tell you is when they crash onto Earth, when they emerge from the cave and meet the humans, they don't tell you that there's a time lapse when they crash and when they meet the humans.
Right.
So they crashed in prehistoric time with the dinosaurs, and then when the second episode of G1, when they meet Sam Witwicky and all that, there's a time jump.
Wait, Sam Witwicky, he's not. When you say G1, I'm thinking the 80s cartoon.
That's what I'm talking about. Sam.
Sam Witwicky wasn't in the 80s cartoon.
Yeah, it was him and his dad.
In the cartoon?
Yeah, they're the curly head redhead.
Okay.
But
You don't test his deep cut knowledge of
No,
Transformers.
So Beast,
I guess.
So Beast Wars takes place in that time when the Transformers were still in stasis lock. So in the third season of Beast Wars, they see Optimus Prime in stasis, like in hibernation type.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and he takes the original Allspark and
And he-
combines it
yeah,
with him,
that's right. I
and
do
then
remember
he turns
that.
into an Optimus.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
That show is
the
fucking...
ape, Primal, it was...
he turns more robot.
yeah.
Let me ask you something about Transformers for a second, because I
don't know Transformers.
Well, it made me it relates to Power Rangers.
You
a
don't
little
know
bit.
Transformers.
I know Beast Wars.
But let me ask
Oh,
you,
come on.
with Transformers, you were talking about G1 and Beast Wars. These different iterations of the franchise all still take place in the same universe, correct?
Some of them.
Some of them.
Because they've been doing multiple different animated
Is
series.
it like Power Rangers where some of these seasons are in the same universe and some of them aren't?
No, some of them there's like totally disconnected.
Interesting.
But the same characters. Which is something that Power Rangers could do. You know? But
Well, let me ask you guys
Over
this.
time.
in the new Transformers series, Megatron is good.
Oh, that's weird.
Yeah.
That is really weird.
Wait, I'm sorry?
Yeah, there's a new one with Danny Pudi from
There's a new
Community.
one. Isn't there a new one on Netflix that happened where they crashed on Earth after trying to escape
I actually
the war?
think you guys are proving my point for me. Why there shouldn't be
I'm so confused.
more iterations of the same franchise coming out about the same time, because I think it all gets kind of lost in the shuffle.
I'm so confused.
Daniel Prime says this about whatever we were just talking about. He says Zordon has been in hibernation the whole time, comes back in a new form.
Zordon. The reboot Zordon is the Red Ranger.
I honestly look. This is sometimes I'm not gonna lie to you. I honestly feel sometimes being a Power Ranger fan is almost it's harder being a Power Ranger fan than it is being a fan of any other franchise or
It
fan
is
base.
super hard because there's no source material.
We don't want to get into that. Hey, if you want us to do like an After Dark style show at 5:00, we got a great story for you.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding. But I feel that
Oh no, not that.
I'm just kidding. But it is harder, I feel, because there's so much. This is a tiny fandom. Like I feel like everybody kind of knows everybody. That's number one.
Yes.
Number
Ton of
two,
little bitches out there,
number
too.
two.
Wow.
I feel like for
That's
as small as the fandom is, the gatekeeping is so real that it's ridiculous.
My God.
It's incredible. It's incredible. Number
People
three.
trying to hold on to some facet of power.
It's
is
also
crazy.
it's also
Your time's up, little bitch.
it's also very divisive depending on what opinion you share about the franchise. Now, and that even goes for myself. I'm not immune to this by any means, because JD and I will tell you that Morphicon, by the way, I didn't get anybody that was there. I didn't get a lot of time to actually breathe and actually do things I wanted. However, The last night I was there was that I think it was a Sunday night, the Sunday or Saturday night, whatever. JD and I just chilled outside of the hotel, and a fan came up, and we were just literally talking about the show, talking about our favorite Red Rangers, talking about our favorite seasons, blah, blah, blah. It's the conversations that I wanted to have that I didn't get a chance to have while I was there. But with that, automatically in my head, and we always talk about this, jokingly, but it's kind of true, that being a hardcore Power Ranger fan, if anybody tells me that their favorite season, Corey Gibson, I'm looking at you. If anybody tells me that their favorite season of Mighty Morphin, if Mighty Morphin's their favorite season, to me, I just kind of give them this look of like, oh, that's cool. Like, they're not a real fan.
Not a real fan.
Like, look, granted, I understand Mighty Morphin put everything on the map. Nobody can tell me that the storytelling in Mighty Morphin is great, because it just
I think he
isn't.
appreciates it for the cinematography.
I feel that the storytelling is, I don't want to say it's weak, because I don't think it's that either, but it's definitely not built for serialized storytelling. Now, some of the episodes stand out and they're great.
But it's
some of
not
the
the
chunks of
greatest.
episodes. But if you're looking at Mighty Morphin as a whole, I don't think it's up there as being even in the top 5.
No.
So I'm not gonna give you my top 5 now, but I that's just my own thing, right? Like, I'm sure we do this with our, like, I'll give you a great example, Jezzer. Who's your favorite Red Ranger?
Ooh, who's my favorite Red Ranger?
And why?
Oh, okay. Leo.
Okay, that's actually a really good choice.
Leo.
I really like that choice
because he is he never wanted it. It was thrust upon him.
Right.
Like the
He
power.
had to step into it.
He had to step into it, and he had to learn to lead this team and grow into this.
Would you say that Leo, in a weird way, is a predecessor to Jack, who we get in SPD seasons later?
Wait,
It's also a guy
Leo's from where?
Leo from Lost Galaxy.
Okay, I get it.
Because
Yeah.
remember,
It
Mike
was his
was
brother.
supposed to-
It was his
Mike
brother,
pulled the
right?
sword.
Yeah.
Mike pulled the sword out. Mike should have been the Red Ranger. But Leo, yeah, for sure.
I
As
agree.
far as
That's really good.
as far as Jack, he didn't necessarily care about the Red Ranger mantle, but he did care about making a difference in that world.
That's a great answer. The Leo answer, I can't give you shit for, and you backed it up. Favorite Red Ranger and why?
Damn, that's a really good one. I could go with the only black Red Ranger.
Oh no, there's been a couple
been
Black
more?
Red
There's
Rangers.
been more?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Technically, right now, I think we have 3?
Well, yeah,
3.
right now, yeah.
Oh,
but-
Selwyn Ward.
Selwyn
Yeah.
Ward, Russell Curry,
Yeah.
and Eka Darvel.
Selwyn Ward is what I'm going with because hey, he was the Red Ranger. Hey, I was like the leader. I get onto the ship with Andros, and now I'm not anymore.
I disagree.
But
Well, I agree with your answer, but I disagree. So I'm not going to tell you how to.
I'm just saying his whole ability to be able to step down and say,
See,
"Well,
that's the
I
thing.
recognize."
So
or
if you
whatever.
actually go back and watch the season, he doesn't step down.
No,
from the
he
leader.
doesn't.
So
It's
this is why.
taken from
This is actually
him,
why I
but-
do like going back even deeper into this. TJ is my favorite character on that season for 2 reasons.
Oh, that I'm thinking of then.
TJ, Selwyn's character.
is
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, okay.
The reason I like that character, I wouldn't say he's my favorite Red Ranger because I don't feel like he had enough time to shine as the Red Ranger, unfortunately.
Power Chamber went down under his.
It went down under his watch. That's true.
Yeah,
But with
true.
that
Okay,
being
fine.
said, wait. With that being said, nobody can tell me that he's not the leader in space. Like, if you even
still
go
is.
back, go back and watch those episodes, he's still telling the team what to do. And he's still playing to everybody's like personality.
He is.
Like,
he
'cause,
does pull off like a
no
whole
offense to-
cap thing.
No offense to Chris, but Andros is kind of like a little whiny bitch in the series.
Dude,
No,
and
yeah,
then
for
when
sure.
they get back to Earth, it's even worse.
He was
is
putting
so
he
much.
was putting his team in danger for his personal vendetta. Like, bro,
I do like the answer of TJ. And see, that's another quote, right? Like, who's one of your favorite Rangers? I like TJ a lot, specifically for what I just said. But in terms of Red Ranger, it's unfortunate because time gets cut short. Same thing, like another Red Ranger that I don't think lives up to being that Red Ranger status, even though I love them as a person and I like them better in blue, is Steve Cardenas.
yep, better in blue.
He's a better dude in blue. Like, but who is your favorite Red Ranger? Yeah, and I know that I want to know everybody out there too. Who's your favorite Red Ranger in the chat? because it is such a loaded question, but also one that causes a lot of debate on who it is. Now, I know there's a lot of folks out there that are going to say Jason, and I'm not a Jason Red Ranger guy for one reason. He lost the job.
No, and Jason, when it came to peace conference or staying a Power Ranger, he quit.
Yeah.
He quit.
Yeah.
He
He lost the job. I will say though, and I can't even say Tommy. I will say this though about Tommy, that if you're looking at his run in terms of leadership, and I also on the reverse side of what I just said about Jason, Tommy's not a leader in Mighty Morphin. Jason is the leader at one point, and then Billy assumes the leadership role after that. Essentially, even though they don't say that, he assumes leadership
he's
role.
the leader in Zeo.
He is and that's where you see him
He's
step
a Red
up, and he
Ranger
becomes.
in
But he
Zeo,
also
right?
becomes the leader that I think you expect him to be at
And
that
he's the
point.
Red Ranger.
He was the
in Zeo
best
also.
when he was in Zeo.
He was the best. He was the best version of his leadership style in Zeo. I would agree. Now, who is the best Red Ranger? Going back to because that's such a hard question, right? And I actually think your Leo answer's a really good one.
Really good.
But I it's so hard to say, right? Because I even now, I struggle because I really like Zato a lot because I think Zato embodies everything a Red Ranger's supposed to.
He sacrificed himself for a team.
He
yeah,
literally.
man.
So you know what? I am going to say
shows up
Zato.
months later at the White Ranger.
I think Zato is my favorite Red Ranger because he is the embodiment of what that role on the team is supposed to be. And even if you pull the curtain back a little bit, and even especially in season 2, part 2, not a ton of the episodes are focused around him.
Yeah.
And it's really about supporting everybody else, and just like a Red Ranger would, he plays the support role really well. So I think in terms of versatility, I think that Zato might be my favorite Red Ranger. But see, all these debates are, we have another one, Zato. That's from D. Mikey, Nerd Game. Daniel Prime says Jen is top
Why do
tier.
you guys keep changing your names?
I
Dude,
like
I
that.
can't stand that.
So let's talk about leaders for a second. All right? Because I've had this talk. Oh, look, we got a few of you. Airlim says Troy. We got somebody else in here. I can't see their first name. Move the screen over a little bit. No. Yeah, there it is. Let's see. My name is Sean. He says Connor. It's a good one.
Connor is a good one.
Tony Robinson says Scott. I like Scott a lot too. I think that's another great choice. Abram the Realtor, Carter, another fantastic choice. Heirloom's real answer says maybe Nick. That's also a good choice. We are seeing a few Zatos in here though. We got Robert Amaya also says Zato. Jalen Glover says Jack. Robert Amaya, I'm gonna say Cole's his favorite Red Ranger rather than So that's great. Some great Red Ranger discussions. Now, leaders of Power Rangers, because not always just because you're a Red Ranger does not mean you're the leader, and that's happened on occasion after occasion after occasion. I feel like there's certain sections of this fan base, and listen, however you want to enjoy Power Rangers and have your own headcanon and fan canon, that's completely fine.
Yeah.
Everybody's entitled to their own opinion. But I've met a lot of fans that think that in their theory is that the Red Ranger is, if you're the Red Ranger, you're the leader. You're the field leader on that team. I do not agree with that theory. So who is the best overall leader in Power Rangers? Because I would say it would have. I mean, if you're looking at, I would say Tommy, for one specific reason. Maybe not so much when he was on his teams, but now because he's been the one that's reunited everybody time and time and time again.
Well, Tommy makes sense because he's been a mentor. He's been a ranger. He's been a non-leader and still was pivotal to everything that happened. He's been important in every step that you can be within the Ranger universe.
Yeah.
So that makes sense.
All right, so you're gonna go Tommy.
Yeah.
You?
That's a tough one.
It's a hard question, right?
That's a tough one.
Because you can say overall, because I think Tommy's the overall best leader, right?
Yeah.
But if you're talking about individual, who is the best leader on their individual
In the field
team,
or
well, just on their individual team, who was the best leader, right? Such a hard question. Because I honestly kind of want to say it's Carter.
I don't remember Carter's role.
Lightspeed Rescue, man. Carter Grayson.
I still have yet to watch.
Yeah.
Carter was a great leader.
I don't remember his.
What about SBD?
Because the real leader on that team, that was Sky. It feels like at times. Or actually, it would be Kruger, I guess.
Yeah.
Kruger would
Bobby
actually be
Kruger.
one of such a fantastic leader.
Well,
Jen
no,
would have to be in
Kruger
there
would
for
be
Time
the-
Force.
Kruger would be the mentor, wouldn't he?
Yeah, I mean, Yeah, I guess you're right. Because like the more field, yeah, I guess you're right on that one.
Claire's
a great leader, even though a lot of people look at her as the mentor. But Keeper, I think, is the mentor of that season. But like the Claire answers, I think is great.
I mean, in the comic, I'm gonna be honest. In the comic, at one point, even though it wasn't too long, Trini.
Yeah,
she knew how to work with everyone in the comic, at least how to work with everyone and highlight their like things that make them
quick
great.
question.
And she was able to like, all right, you take this, you take that.
I think Nate was a good leader. It was
Nate.
Beast Morphers.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let me ask you: do you guys think, and why do you think it didn't happen? But do you guys think that, especially during like 2017, 2018, 2019? Why do you think Power Rangers just didn't offer Kyle Higgins a spot to like write the actual show?
They were in flux at the time, right?
The transition was beginning to happen, but you'd assume though that like so much of like the resurgence and
would he have taken it?
Well, because here's the thing, right? Name me a Power Ranger character outside of Mighty Morphin that's been extremely popular with like not just Power Ranger fans, but like mainstream fans. Lord Draken would have to be on that list, right? Like people knew who Lord Draken was, even people that may not have known Power Rangers.
Yep. People were like, "Yo, I heard like Tommy's coming back and he's like killing people."
So,
and I was like, "Yeah."
To me, like, and if you're looking, like I said before, that Thanos. I tell you what, if Cosmic Fury's final boss isn't Zed and he's working for, imagine he's working for Draken. Like,
dude, that would be insane because it's like, okay, this guy who was like, you know, had his moment with him, like, and still, it's
and maybe
like,
that's why
I mean?
JDF doesn't like. He still has that mohawk, right? And he's like, you know, I'm not going to change my look. And they're like, great, we don't need you to. And if you want your tattoos, keep them because now we're going to have you just play Draken.
Abraham says, Jezer and Daniel really what? Remember in like
what happened?
Remember in elementary school when like they say, hey, write out your answer with the question and you guys need to do that. We don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I have no idea what you're talking
and
about.
And if you're talking about like us not watching Lightspeed, there's so much stuff that we have to watch.
Well,
man.
also, I was just talking.
I'm an adult.
I don't know. We were here last week, and I was talking to you guys. Like, so, just to run down how all this works. We get here at a certain time. Thank God for Jezer. He was here this week. We were late. I mean, it just happens if Kevin's not here. We were late. We usually come in, do the show, then we'll all like hang out, do something, get something to eat, brainstorm ideas, do whatever. Last week we were here, and we were just talking about Power Rangers. I think Josh and Shay. And I think I said something to the effect of like, man, I can't like doing some of these quizzes that I used to do. I honestly don't remember some of these seasons. And then I think Josh made the comment, it's like, you forgot more about Power Rangers than I'll ever know. So like, it's kind of true, right? So like, there's just like how you said Lightspeed Rescue. I saw Lightspeed Rescue. I don't remember like the facets of that show. Yeah. Like there's a show like honestly like Operation Overdrive and Mystic Force, especially Mystic Force. I feel like I glazed over that show. Granted, I want to go back and watch it because I think there's elements of that show that I
Mystic
really,
Force,
really like.
There was some cool scenes.
But like, I don't think I gave it at the time the respect I should have in terms of viewing it because I was getting through it so quickly. But, you know, it's Power Rangers and there's a lot of content to consume and anybody that's going to go out there and be a champion and consume that amount of content, good for you. But
Abram says, that you didn't know about Carter. Like we're talking about now.
How did you not know about Carter, you son of a bitch?
There's so much. Like if you want someone that knows beat for beat every single episode of the show, go watch them. But they're not going to be as entertaining as us.
Who said we were entertaining this week?
Yeah,
I'm
exactly.
just kidding.
Exactly. I'm just saying
we're entertaining every week. We do this. I do like the general Power Ranger conversation because I don't think it's something we do enough.
Yeah,
just conversation about certain pop culture things.
Because especially when news comes out, it's
just
you got structured. You guys talk about the news.
Talk about the news. Hit those buzzwords. But now it gives us free reign to kind of talk about whatever. And if you guys have questions for us that you guys have wanted to know, or questions about the franchise that maybe we can help answer, this is what we are here for
you could
every Saturday live in Los Angeles, California.
You could help me and Daniel. Abram, I'm giving you a homework assignment. Please give us a report on Connor from Lightspeed Rescue.
And if you want to do that in a video report, how about this? We'll air it next week.
Yes, give us a report. That way you can educate me and Daniel on Connor and his adventures.
I'm an app pupil, man. You go ahead and teach me, but you need to actually teach me. Show me. Give me that info.
He's right though. Mystic Force is very underrated. People like dismiss it because of the magic and stuff, but like
Was that the first and only magical season we had? Yeah, they're happy.
Yeah, well.
It is the first and only.
I think so.
What is another motif that you would like explored that hasn't been?
Ooh.
I mean, dude, they've done well.
Or what's
Cannibals, maybe?
Cannibals. I don't even know how that works. Like, what's another thing that they can do or have done but haven't really explored it a lot? Like Operation Overdrive would have been really cool if they really tapped into that like treasure hunting side of the show.
Yeah.
Wow. What?
Yeah.
Oh my god, that's like crazy.
Like finding artifacts and stuff, I think would have been kind of cool. But it would have been cool if it was like finding, like if it was a team of these like rangers that are just really on a science mission, but they have to find different artifacts throughout Power Ranger history.
Yes,
that would be cool. It would have been like the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. of Power Rangers a little bit.
Yeah.
Getting some of these giant relics back in its place, like
That would be
Goldar's
cool.
sword, Zed's staff. Maybe they're sent from the Beast Morphers Academy, just trying to put that stuff back in the storage or something.
So we are 2 hours into the episode and we haven't filled it up. So I think next episode we'll fill up all the names and then we'll do the giveaway.
Why don't we do this? Why don't we can probably guarantee them a pass for the next Morphicon?
Oh,
That's
yeah.
a fact.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Yep. It is
You
happening.
find your way
right?
out here.
Yeah, it's in 2024.
Yeah, you got to find your way out here.
Then hey, you've got a ticket.
Yeah. But we'll fill up
for
the
all
names.
2-3 days, whatever.
You know.
Hey, Jezzer, what's a fandom that you wish you talked about more with your friends that you don't enough?
With my friends?
Yeah, with us. Like, what's a fandom that you'd like to talk about that you don't feel like you get the chance to talk about?
I don't want to talk about Power Rangers anymore.
I get that, but what is a fandom that you do?
Oh.
And would these people be interested in watching that?
Ooh, Chuck.
Chuck? Like going back and
Wow.
exploring Chuck?
Oh, you do like that show. That's
I
true.
do like that show. Chuck is great.
Great.
So my friend came, not last week, but 2 weeks ago. I wasn't here because my friend came from Florida, and we used to love watching Chuck.
Oh yeah.
And so what he I was like, oh, where do you want to go? Like, we're in California. I was like, do you want to go to like Hollywood Boulevard or see the Hollywood sign, shit like that? It's like, I want to see like pivotal places that happen in Chuck.
Oh, that's
Is that what you did? You spent a day like going to Chuck location?
Some parts of the day. It was hard to find some things.
Was Chuck ever filmed at Catalina Island?
No, we went to
Oh.
Catalina Island because he had a great aunt that lives over there. It's actually kind of cool.
It
over
is
there.
nice.
Dude,
there.
all the
Yeah.
go-karts, like you don't
Yes.
drive cars.
And there's also not like food chains. Like,
No, it's all mom and pop shop.
Yeah, man.
It's this whole little town. It's actually
Did you guys
really
do
cool.
karaoke?
No.
Oh, really?
I did last time I was there.
You did?
Yeah.
There's this,
well,
on
they get
Catalina
clammed
Island-
up, man, and that shit turns into like real. Like,
on
real
Catalina
stuff.
Island, there's this girl who does this thing. She also does it in New York. Well, there's someone who also does it in New York.
Well, he
but
didn't.
She rides
the
like
thing
this
is,
little thing.
the
and-
thing is, I think I'd have more fun with you guys over. Not more, but fun with you guys over there, because he doesn't drink. So, like, yeah, we didn't really drink much out there.
I drank. You should have. I drank a ton last week here.
Yeah.
I drank. I think I drank a whole case of Bud Lights.
Yeah.
And I almost drank half a bottle of his rum or whatever.
Yeah, it was a Dominican rum,
Dominican
man.
rum.
I forgot what it's called. Starts with a B.
consumed
Brugal.
a lot
Brugal.
of marijuana.
Oh, Daniel says. Daniel Prime says, Azari needs to be on the show for a kid's perspective. Bring her on.
So
Well,
funny. I
Hey,
was actually gonna do the
that
same
is-
thing with Mia. So
We should.
Mia and
Let's-
I
let's-
we're starting to kind of dive into Power
let's
Rangers
just
a
see.
little bit.
Let's just see, because they've both been watching Power Rangers. Have they met?
I don't think
Mia
so.
And
I don't think
Azaria?
they met.
Yeah, bring them on. Let's see. Like, just have you and then you and Daniel and her and Azaria, and just have you guys talk about Power Rangers.
Yeah.
A different perspective.
Yeah,
Then
you
our
and
jaded
Daniel
perspective.
Prime, and then
Oh.
So,
oh my god, that
what's a
would be dope.
fandom that you wish you can dive into,
don't
discuss
know.
that
DuckTales.
wrestling?
Wrestling. I would love to be able to fully, truly
Well, you guys
discuss wrestling.
put in the chat. What's a fandom you want? You feel that you don't get to talk much about?
I don't need to talk much about wrestling enough. I
You know
feel
what?
like I would.
I loved, and it sucks because it only gets one season. Lovecraft Country. It was so.
Abram says he
good.
personally wants a more reality-based Power Rangers like Overdrive or Lightspeed Rescue. More reality-based. So that's another thing with Lightspeed Rescue, right? Like, because their technology came so quickly, and it wasn't just Miss Fairweather.
Ooh,
Well,
Miss
she was
Fairweather.
pretty hot too.
Jesus.
She
Was it
beautiful.
aliens?
No. Your assumption is because at the time of the show, and this is all hitting me now. The dude's name was Captain Mitchell, right? Captain William Mitchell, and a lot of the big fan theories at the time when I was a kid. This, by the way, is like 2001.
Okay.
A lot of the fan theories that I remember were like, "Oh, this is like he's like this is like a future version of Billy. Like this is Billy. He's like the future Billy Captain."
Okay.
Mitchell. Obviously,
Okay.
that's not true. They're different characters.
Different, yeah.
But I get it. Like I get the process of going from like, oh, we're gonna do this like rescue kind of stuff. That makes sense for Billy to kind of work on that. I feel like Billy was the one that kind of helped create the Lightspeed Rescue stuff. Here's some fandoms that you guys want to talk about that you don't get enough chance to.
Listen.
Chance to. Red Sky says pro wrestling is so fun right now. Tony Robbins says maybe Psych. Heirloom says
pineapples,
anime.
baby.
Anime.
Anime, not bad.
Let's see.
Complex C right now. I'm digging it.
My name is Sean says Supernatural.
Wow.
Abram
one of the
Abram
longest
says-
running television shows. It's
Abram
crazy.
says Power Rangers. He doesn't get to talk about it now.
Who doesn't get to talk about that?
Abram.
Abram.
Oh my god.
Abram.
Well, because hey, we said that talk with your friends. Maybe friends don't talk about Power Rangers.
So you talked about Mystic Force a little bit being a super underrated season. What else do you think is the most underrated season? So for anybody that's out there, it's like, hey, listen, I know this is Power Rangers, but you got to watch this one season. And it can't be something like RPM because we already know that's good. But like, what's a super underrated season and why?
I'm going through the list right now.
Crickets. Is what I hear.
Hold on.
There is no answer.
Because that's like a hummingbird. I would say
No, that's a cricket.
I would say Zeo, but I feel like Zeo is now getting the respect it deserves.
Zeo is? I don't hear anyone talk about it.
I think Zeo, or if not, then Zeo's the most underrated season of Power Rangers. By far, too, it rivals the current season now. But I actually think Zeo is the best all-around cast as well.
Oh,
Because I think Zeo really celebrates, like, especially when Jason's there. Jason and Billy on the same team. I think it really celebrates, to that point, Power Rangers past and Power Rangers future with Tanya. Like, it really has... I think that's the best power. You know how people have their favorite Justice League team? That's like my favorite Power Ranger team is the Zeo team.
Space and Lost Galaxy for me are really good. I feel that we're gonna take.
Neither one of those are
away.
underrated though.
No, I'm just saying I love those. Underrated? I don't have an answer for an underrated because everything I know is the stuff that's like saturated, overrated. That's the stuff I really, really know. Underrated is like you'll mention like Mystic Force, and I'm like, it feels like it's a deep cut because I just didn't watch it. I didn't want. Yeah. I was growing up. I had a kid. I had a wife.
Yeah,
I was busy.
Everything's like correctly rated.
You think?
I think so.
I don't know. I don't know about that one.
Like a lot of people say, "Oh, give Overdrive a no, Overdrive's trash."
Okay, what's the most overrated Power Rangers?
What about NPR?
Overrated. Time Force.
I agree. Time Force.
Time Force is overrated.
Time Force is definitely the most overrated season.
Okay.
Not even a question.
Time Force.
Second is MMPR.
Yeah. Yep.
100%.
Okay. What about RPM?
RPM's a fantastic season. It's in my top 5.
Is it over or under?
No, it's rated where it's supposed to be.
Okay.
I'd say
the franchise
my top 5 favorite season of Power Rangers in no particular order are Dino Fury, Zeo, RPM, Space, and Lost Galaxy.
Damn, Lost Galaxy is good. I'm not. I can't.
I like your list. I still haven't watched RPM, and I need.
Oh man, SPD is really good too. It should found my way. It found its way on the list too.
Yep.
Oh, yeah. I don't know what I would take off to put SPD on. But we're gonna take off right now because we're gonna get something to eat. However, we're thinking that if you guys want us to stream again, we'll stream later on today, maybe around 5. But if you do, that's just gonna be just us kind of talking about geek pop culture stream.
Yeah.
And
no
about
more
life.
Power Rangers today.
About life, about whatever's going on. But we would love for you guys to join us over there. Josh and JD might join us on that one as well, and just kind of getting you guys a feel of stuff that's going on in the world, in life, in pop culture, in Power Rangers, in comic books, in movies, in whatever you fancy. But that's going to do it for us individually, though, for this show, the Ranger Wrap Up Live, October 22nd, 2022. Daniel, where can everybody find you?
You can find me on Instagram at I forgot what it is. Oh, Battlestar Galactica. You can go find me on Twitter at BSG Actica. So just BS Galactica. You can just do that. What, Facebook? Find me at Battle Saga Galactica.
Jezzer.
You can find me on all social media at Jezzer Zeus. Joe.
You can find me on Instagram and Twitter at Joe Illuminerdi. And you can find me on TikTok now at Joe Deckelmeyer. Go follow me on TikTok. I'll follow you back, especially right now. But that's going to do it for us. We may be back in a couple hours talking more geek pop culture, general geek pop culture. Power Rangers may be a part of that, but we will be on possibly in a little bit. That's going to do it for us, guys. Please hit that like, share, and subscribe button to stay up to date with everything trending
in geek pop culture.
Later, guys.